My name is Tegan. I'm your host tonight. This is the Party Invite Show. I'm joined over here by these two. Vilos,
That's me. I'm going to be chomping chips like the entire show, so
Chompin'
be ready for
Chips,
that.
and Sovereign Sid.
That's me. I'm back. Did you
What
miss
up?
me?
We did. We really did. Just glad to have
Yeah.
you here. You've been busy.
Good.
You've been traveling. Well. You know what? Let's skip all the pretense. We're Party
Busy being
Invite.
a nerd.
We have a video podcast that you can catch on all your favorite platforms, and then a game stream. Later on, we're going to play demos from the Steam NextFest. We've got, what do we got, Carlos? We have El Paso,
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere,
Yes.
which is the real game version of the almost
Yes.
meme game that you played before, El Paso Nightmare, right?
Correct. That is
Yes.
correct.
Then we'll play the Cosmic. Let me get the name right here. I keep wanting to call it the Sisterhood of the Cosmic Wheel. The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. Okay, so I had all the right words. I just needed them in the right order. And then you'll also be playing, hopefully, if we allow for time, Wargroove 2. Wargroove is one of the first games I ever remember you telling me that was like one of your very favorites. So I'm excited
Still
to.
is, yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of these games withstand the test of time. Like we get well, whatever. We'll talk about all that stuff when we get to it. But I'm really excited for those demos today. There are more games than we could possibly play. So not only are we going to try to fit some more in off stream, maybe in the Discord we'll chat about it. You'll be able to see me probably pick some stuff up on Saturday night. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The point is, there's more than we could play. One game that we saw, we wanted to get chat in on. So instead of playing it today, we're going to put together an event, play together on Sunday on our Discord. That game is called Myth Force. I'll show you a trailer for that later on. But for those of you who like colorful roguelikes and Saturday morning cartoons, that's the game for you. Co-op roguelike. What more? What more do you need? We got a lot of people in here who play Gunfire Reborn, among other things. We love that stuff. So we'll drop a link to that here in chat before the end of the stream. But let's listen up a little bit. Let's kind of warm up ourselves, get our creative juices flowing a little bit with the things that made us smile this week. Sav, can we start with you?
Yes. So, guess what?
What?
My mom is getting married.
Hey!
After 20 years with her girlfriend, they're finally going to tie the knot. It's going to be like
Hell
a very
yeah.
small,
Oh,
like
man.
courthouse ceremony, like very legal, very bureaucratic. Just because she's a very fiscally conscious individual. So I'm just going to be there as a witness, and it's going to be so much fun. And I'm really hoping that we do a reception sometime like in the next month because like that would be really cool. I know we're going to be visiting, going to Ohio to visit the family, like my mom's side of the family really soon. So maybe we'll do something for that. But it's also my aunt's 70th birthday, so I don't think that's going to be like a competing event or something like that. Anyway, mom's getting married, y'all.
That's exciting. Air horns in chat, y'all. Type out the
Yay!
air horn noises, however that
Congrats.
onomatopoeia
During Pride
sounds.
Month. She's marrying her girlfriend during Pride Month. 20 years though, they're finally. I'm like, hello? Why so long?
Yeah, that's wild.
I thought Lizzie and I were a long time. We've more or less been together for about 10 years. There's an asterisk on that, but 10 years feels like a good long time. At this point, I just call Lizzie my partner. She's
Yeah.
my fiance. Someday we have a date now. She'll be my wife. But I think she'll always be my partner because she always has been and she always will be. And that's the thing that fits for us. But yeah, I mean, 20 years to be together to finally tie that knot. That's exciting. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I'm so excited. But that means I have to go back to my hometown. Ugh.
Well, look, get an Airbnb in KC and just make the trip.
Well, no, I mean,
Well, what am I
so,
talking about? I forget how this works. Never mind.
but then I'm actually going back to town tomorrow anyway because I am going to be doing another cosplay of Nessa for the kids again. They want to have me on monthly, and they're going to be paying me. It's a paid cosplay gig, and so that's another big thing that's happening. That's Bliss Uppy. So
That's
yeah.
great.
Even though Daphne died, there's a lot of still good stuff going on. Daphne's my computer, by the way, for those who are listening.
A couple
Like,
times
I just
when you wrote that, a couple times I was just like, "Excuse me," because some other friends I have a dog named Daphne. So reading the
no.
words Daphne has died, I'm just like every time I'm like, "Which chat am I in? Which is everything
Oh,
okay?"
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cause you that anxiety.
Hey, that's okay. Just not everybody names their PC. So all it means is that you really love that thing, maybe.
I was talking with someone earlier. I name everything. Like my stream deck has a name. Its name is Declan. So like it's out there. My phone's name is Aoife. We know this. My car, Saoirse. I have a problem. I have a problem.
No, I think you have a lot of solutions. That's what you have.
I mean, hey, at least, whenever I'm looking for something specific, I don't have to say like, generic object. I could be like, hey,
Yeah,
give me
like
that.
if you said, "Where's my phone?" no one would have known what you were talking about. But if you
You
Exactly.
say,
start screaming FL like
Where's
at the
Aoife?
pool or something.
I'm just saying Aoife.
"Oh, that's wonderful." Well, I'm so excited. Yeah, I hope the Daphne heals soon. I mean, you're here with that. Daphne brought you to us today. This stream is sponsored by Daphne, actually.
We'll see how long it lasts, because I don't know. These random restarts are kind of irksome. But if I disappear anytime during the stream, y'all, that's why we'll have the random restart. But I'll be back
Well, I hear
eventually.
that. I tell you what. Then my listen up. My transition here is that where you got hardware stuff going on. I'm excited that I finally got the wireless version of these HyperX Stinger headphones that I like so much. That thanks to our mutual friend Benson, he got me onto these, and they're great. And it's all live bought since he showed them to me. So I needed something wireless, and I'm excited to have them. The mic that you're hearing right now will only be for this week because the part two of my upgrades, I ordered one wrong part, so I will have that for next week. Really excited about that. I will also have my video card next week. Fingers crossed, I'll have it plugged in by showtime, but I will at least have it in my hand to use. I'm so thrilled. The short version of why I don't have one already is Newegg let me down. Newegg really, really let me down, and this is the third time they've done it since I moved to Seattle. So I guess even though they used to be like, one of my trusted companies, kind of like Quick Trip and used to be Google, um, they're falling by the wayside. So it feels like I'm losing a friend there, but I'll be picking it up in person from a Best Buy, a good old brick and mortar. If there's one thing that the brick and mortars are good for, if there's something in there, you can pick it up with your hands. You don't have to worry about it getting lost in transit or any of that stuff. But that's bliss and down talk. This is bliss and up. All right. I've got the new headphones. I'm thrilled to have them. It's weird that I don't have to like. There's no cord. I keep looking down, thinking my arms are gonna knock the cord and it's gonna make microphone noise, but it hasn't. So that'll take a while. When we were setting up, I'm like, I can't believe Discord's not recognizing my headset. The settings are all correct. Oh, I have to turn it on. Right. That's the thing that I have to do now. Uh, so it'll be a learning process, but I'm thrilled to have some upgrades. There are more that I still need, but these are two really big ones. So excited for that. So yeah, next week I'll have even more positive stuff to say. Hopefully you'll be able to hear the difference. But yeah, hardware change is exciting. Also, it's the summer solstice, baby. Anybody watching live got to hear a bunch of my
It's Cancer
playlists.
season.
That's toxic. Okay. That was no, that was a bad joke.
No, because like, yeah, okay, I got there.
I've been playing too much Darkest Dungeon. There's actually a character in there that has a special perk unique to only that class, where instead of saying like, oh, they are resolute or they had a meltdown, he has a third option that says toxic, and it's actually like it comes with all these really special and also totally very powerful and very dangerous to you abilities. But I added it to our Discord. It's the screen of this person like looking like they're losing their mind, and it just says toxic in green below it. Yeah, that's been living rent free in my head.
It reminds me of like that meme that's like panic. Toxic.
Every time it's like the triggered meme, but only the eyes, only the red, like Terminator eyes. That one still gets me. I just saw one earlier today, and I chuckled.
You know what I learned about that girl that's featured in that picture, the triggered picture?
Hmm.
That's like the greatest lie that the internet's ever told, because the screen cap that comes from is about her like very calmly explaining like the dire situation of like some socioeconomic thing that's happening. But she was like, it was like a whole conversation. She was like super smiley, flowery, friendly, like, and for like one little 60th of a second, one frame, she was saying like the word truth or something like that. But like it was like true, like true, like she was like agreeing with someone like true, true, blah blah blah. And someone took that little tiny frame and then bam. I was
Well,
like,
I
that
always
poor girl. I hope she's doing okay.
a lot of people who use that don't use it endearingly, or certainly they didn't. But I've always thought of it as like satire, because I did hear that when it first came out. It was like, because I saw a little clip of her speaking, and it was just a normal thing. And
Yeah.
then so for her to become the triggered meme was like, oh well, this is a joke, because the laugh here from my perspective was like, the laugh here is supposed to be that literally anything that anyone says is, triggering. Like it's intentionally misrepresenting a point of view, which I'm like, okay, well that happens all the time, so it's kind of funny to me that way. But I don't think a lot of people used it satirically. So I'm sure a lot of people in chat just learned something new. So yeah.
Yay, Funjucational. Look,
Oh,
first episode back, I've already learned something
oh
today.
man,
Yeah.
I'm learning too much. You know what? I'm tired of learning. Vilos, let's back off.
Yeah,
From
dumb us down a little bit.
I will make this as dumb as possible. No, I have had no room for Blissing Ups for the last 3 weeks, so I'm finally got one and a half, I guess. I lost a car, but I gained a PS5, so that's
Oh,
something.
nice.
And so
yeah, worth.
today I just got this pretty thing.
Oh
The
baby.
the special edition of Final Fantasy 16. So yeah, this is going to be my life for the next week or two, maybe. Downloaded a stupid amount of stuff onto
Wait,
my
what's the back look
PS5.
like? Like it's all collector's edition. Oh, hold on, wait.
Let's see. Let me. Oh yeah, are you gonna bring out? Of course you
There
are.
we go.
Let's
Is
see if
that
I
like
can
a box
switch
for
this
ants?
over without losing all the audio like I usually do. Okay, let's.
And the cool thing is the back is glossy, but the front is the very sweet matte
Like the mat,
with
yeah.
Oh, that's
the
cool.
kind of rubbery embossment
Is
on
that a
it. So it's
phoenix? Oh.
yes. So yeah, that's the Phoenix, and this is Ifrit, the shit monster, whatever. It's
Hey, Ethan is hot,
asshole.
right? Like
Like
Well,
literally, that's the whole thing.
no, anybody that's played the demo for 16 understands exactly what I mean, because it sets you up beautifully. The story is amazing, so I'll get into that, on what we've been playing. But yeah, I am very psyched. Picked up Cyberpunk on discount.
more like psyched for punk.
Yes,
Got
and of course I
Somebody clip it.
fucking.
That was so good. We have to. Clip it.
Of course, I beat Cyberpunk. The first month and a half that it was out.
Oh,
But
you did. I forgot about that. When you said you
yeah,
were
but
sharing it, I was like, "Oh, Vilo's first time,
mhm.
excited."
But so much has changed, and the Phantom Liberty DLC is coming very soon, in the next couple months. And I'm excited for that, Idris Elba and everything. So yeah, and PS Plus is stupid valuable. Just as valuable as Game Pass now. So yeah, I am absolutely stoked for my PS5, especially since I can't go anywhere anymore. So
Sure.
PS5 is very nice.
So when are you gonna get a VR headset now, so you really never have to leave?
Oh my god.
You can just live in a
I
virtual
happen to
world.
have one for sale that I've been trying to sell for like 4 years. Please buy it for me, please.
The VR stuff's really
Oh,
cool, but yeah, once you're like,
maybe.
I don't think I have time to play this. It's impossible to find what you're supposed to do with it now. I
Mhm.
literally just gave mine to my friend. I was just like, I know that you know people who would have a high value on this, so just
See,
take
I
this.
would do that, except for I paid $800 for mine.
Yeah, I
So
paid
I'm trying to get
a
some
lot
kind of
for mine.
return from it.
Yeah,
I'm,
so
I'm
that's the
only selling it
thing.
for $350. So hey, that's a hell of a deal.
Plug, plug, plug,
That's
Put
not
that out
bad.
there. Yeah.
Somebody
But
buy
yeah.
this person's VR headset. All right,
Please.
support the show.
It's the only one of my devices that doesn't have a name, so I don't actually care about it.
It's named
That's
Felicia.
what they say. The moment you give it a name.
Yep. Just long enough to say bye. That's great. somebody buy the VR. But I'm excited for you. So you got a PS5 now. You shared recently some cool cases, some custom cases for it. That you from what I gathered, they're officially licensed through Sony now, right? Which is why they're more expensive than usual.
Debrand got in trouble with their initial PlayStation 5 frames, which were the sweet matte black ones that were just fucking nice.
Nice.
But yeah, they got the retro see-through ones, the translucent ones. So they had orange, pink, or orange, purple, red, and like one or two other colors. I think a black one. yeah, they go from like $70 to $90, I think, is the price range. But yeah, I'm gonna need that perp, you know.
Gonna need that perp.
And then Sob's gonna try to steal it from me, but like, it's real
I
cool.
would never.
There's a link in chat to the brand cases that you're talking about. There's some cool stuff on there. Also, a reminder: our Discord's wonderful. You should join it. We are loving the new forum features. So for those of you who might be like our friend Doppelgamer, who is kind of planted his flag, so to speak. I'm putting words in his mouth here, but he's saying that Reddit is dying, which as someone who doesn't use Reddit, I believe it just because social media's been around for a long time and some people are ready to transition to new stuff. Some people want to stick with their old platforms, but they're kind of falling apart. That's kind of us with Facebook. We have a love-hate relationship with them. We love the people who are there. We hate the rest. that's our relationship with it. So we are really going headfirst into our Discord stuff. We want to give people an opportunity to enjoy the internet without a doom scroll feed. That's what I like the most about it. But now we're able to more efficiently use tools to look for a group. We have a huge thread for Diablo 4, so anybody who wants to just talk about the game or find teammates and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna keep plugging it because our Discord's my favorite place on the internet. We've got a bunch
And
of
literally, if you play some obscure shit, nobody's ever gonna play with you unless you say, "Will you play with me?" So just get in there and say something.
Yep. Everybody's waiting
Yeah,
for
we don't
somebody
bite.
else to say it first,
Well, all the time.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. I mean, so is that's what we got, right? So you got Cyberpunk on the PS5. I'm excited for that. You've already played Control, right? I think we had this conversation
I
recently.
didn't. I did download it though, so
Right.
because it's on PS Plus. So it's on my list of
Hell yeah.
very close to dos.
Best to play on a PS5 controller, man. It's worth it. Excited for you.
I'm
Okay.
already happy about the DualSense. Like
It's
DualSense
rad,
is so legit. The
dude.
sounds coming from it.
Uh, so I had good things to say about the Harry Potter game with the controller specifically. But there was one Lizzie was playing recently. It wasn't Spider-Man. She already beat that. It wasn't Horizon. What was this game? Well, I'll come up with it. But she was playing a game recently, and I was just shocked at how everything was being used. She went on some mission, and somebody was talking to her, like her comms person was talking to her through the controller, where everyone else in the scene, like in front of her, like who's physically there, came out of the TV speakers, and it was just really well done. It makes it feel very immersive. I'll have to come up with what that game was.
Yeah, that was the same thing I got from the Resident Evil 2 demo. There's when Hunnigan speaks to you, like the radio will crackle on, and it'll be through the controller and freak you the fuck out at first. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. And then also, like, every time you reload, like, you hear all the little like from the controller, and it feels so good. And the triggers, like, basically turning analog whenever they want to. Just, it's mind blowing. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of options there, and you can customize it and all this good stuff. Big fan. Not to say that the new Xbox controller is anything to shake a stick at. That's what I use when I game on PC. But yeah, the DualSense vibration and the adaptive triggers, huge. Lots of good stuff going on. Okay, well, I tell you what, that was a long listen up. We have a lot to be excited for right now, but we want to keep it good for time because we also have a big party topic where we want to talk about a bunch of exciting games from the massive amount of shows that happened this past month. I haven't even caught up on like half of them. I was doing a great job early on, but anyway, to get to that, let's talk about what we've been playing. Vilos, could we actually start with you to talk about some of the games that you and Sav both played? Well, I'm really looking at Exoprimal here. That you guys played with the community. We had, man, I mean, we had like 6+ people in voice chat playing and spectating, and I enjoyed just listening to you guys shoot up dinosaurs. That was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, Exoprimal, I'm so fucking happy that everybody decided to get on this route since it's the final closed beta after the other two.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was super hyped, incredibly happy that everybody hopped on because, yeah, I think at one point we had like 3 people watching and just watching, like not even anything else.
Yeah.
Because Exoprimal is a fun-ass game to watch. It's incredibly fun to play. If you hit that video there, that YouTube is going to be a video over the data cube missions, which we had a lot of.
Oh my god.
So,
Cube.
unfortunately,
If we didn't get like 50 of them in a row before we got those cartridge like expedition missions.
Yeah. So there are basically three main things that happen during each game. It can change depending on your situation. If you are really good at doing the first mode, then the game might actually switch shit up on you and change to a different one. But this beta, we actually were surprised with special missions. Like, for example, there's a raid boss test mode that not only do you actually work with teammates from the other side, they join your game, but
really?
It becomes you're like stuck in this virtual world against this major boss creature. That's really fucking cool. It takes a good bit of time. You are on an actual timer at the top of the screen, so it's really cool just getting into finally seeing some of the different modes in the game, because there are still a lot of them that they haven't even described to us in the trailers and stuff. Like grabbing this trailer, I had noticed that their YouTube had another mode that was just not in any of the betas. So I don't know why they released the trailer when we didn't get to do anything with it. But yeah, this last beta was super cool. We all got to explore the different roles that we could play, because obviously it's a hero shooter, and at times we might have lost off for actually.
You're right. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we really did. I don't think Sav can do the motion blur.
Yeah, that would be very, very impressive,
they're
actually.
Good, but I don't know if they're that good. Oh, that's funny.
But we got to choose a few different characters. So Odie was really good at his Genji main. That Genji main is
really
the
good
Zephyr.
At video games, you know.
He is.
If you wanna figure out how to slot something in a complex system, to see what works best for this and that and the other and stuff, Odysseus is. I don't know anybody better, you know.
Yeah.
I know people I know some people who are a little more specialized than him, but Odysseus has got variety or what's the word I'm looking for? Not variety, flexibility, adaptability.
Yeah.
Adaptability is what I'm
there
looking
you go.
for. More than anybody. Welcome back, Sav. Oh,
I'm here.
How's Daphne doing?
She's a little sick.
Well, we're rooting for you. But Vilos talking up Exoprimal, getting the whole gang online, even have people spectating.
Yeah, we got to do our different roles. We figured out what everybody's good at. I already knew what I was good at, but I did get to try out. Like, Nimbus is really, really my hard secondary character, I think. Zephyr is not something I want to play normally, but I found out that I can match up with those top stats as a Zephyr as well. So getting to screw around with the roles
Zephyr's
is really
the
fun.
Genji Ninja one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so getting to play those different roles were really great. Wow. Yeah, I guess you're the only one that didn't get to
who's the guy with the
play
red
other
shield?
roles.
You guys are playing like 4.
That's Roadblock.
Oh, Roadblock.
Roadblock.
Yeah, so Roadblock. So yeah,
Roadblock, though.
Our absolutely final game, which we got bats in on. That was so fun.
Hell yeah.
We all decided, and somebody on the other team actually, or not on our other team, but just right after I saw videos going up on Twitter, other people doing the same thing at the end of the beta. We all 5 decided to be Roadblock, which actually made the game modes kind of not possible to finish, just because Roadblock doesn't have a gun, and there are certain enemies that you have to
characters,
shoot.
And you guys are like,
yeah.
When you get down here, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
So you're just like running and like jumping as far as possible and swinging your fist and just trying to do stuff.
It's just a bunch of Gimlis. If you toss me, just toss me.
Yeah. It was that exact situation. It was so funny. I can't wait to do that. Every once in a while in the actual game would be pretty funny to do that, because it just doesn't stop you. Like, you can have all 5 of your characters on your team the same role if you actually needed to.
Well,
So
what's really cool about that is that you have the ability to change your strategy and stuff on the fly. Like we had a similar situation like that in one of the games that I was playing with you, where I couldn't like I kept being pinned between like the sniper and the opponent's skywave, and we didn't have anybody to like counter that strategy, because they were just like zip zap,
Zip zap zap.
diving all over the place, and I was just like, "Help." I can't do anything. And then you were like, punch in the air, like get over here.
I mean, it's really funny when you do have to change things just abruptly because stuff's going down and you just cannot stop it. Which, you know, Overwatch has its ups and downs, whatever. But I don't ever feel like Overwatch has ever been adaptable enough. You know, like it's so easy to get salty in those games. And Exoprimal, whatever. Even if you do get salty in Exoprimal, you can at least make fun of it. Like you can all decide to just troll and become roadblocks if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And so we did it at the very final game of the beta, and it did like probably 3 minutes before the game would have been over. I think um, it did officially crash. It kicked us all, except you had to press the confirm button, and Shani was the one left that didn't press the confirm button, and he somehow managed to stay in the game, just beating on Raptors. He was
Yep.
invincible, and they were invincible, but he was just beating on them, and we waited until he was able to do his boss move, which is his special move's a tornado that he just T poses and just flies around and picks up like 100+ creatures. So fun. Really, really love Exoprimal and cannot wait to get a community night. We're definitely gonna make a big deal of that when it officially releases. On
I'm
July 15th.
thrilled that there are enough people that I can spectate because I did enjoy playing Exoprimal, but I like watching you guys more than I like playing it. I had a lot of fun. I actually watched you guys while I was still at work, right? So I barely even watched you. I mostly listened to you guys, but I had a blast just being in voice chat with you guys, just hollering, and there's a special excitement like, yeah, Exoprimal's gonna be fun when it comes out, and we understand that. But there is extra excitement when something's in this early access phase. Like you guys literally played up until the bell, you know? And there's that added excitement of like we've got a limited time. We're gonna get as much as we can out of this thing together, and to I mean it's like being at a show, like or a concert or even a movie to some extent. It's the thrill of experiencing it together at the same time when it will soon be over. So I love that we have enough people to be able to play those games with the full squad now, which is appropriate. We'll have it up before the end of the show, so watch chat. But like I said, we have a game called Myth Force that Sav scoped out from the past month of announcements. That is a surefire squad game that I think a lot of us will like. So if you're around this weekend, especially on Sunday, we'd love to have enough people to get at least one group going for that. But for everybody listening in the future, this is a plug that not only do we play a lot of games ourselves and make this content, but we really want to provide a place for people to be able to find any game. Anything all the way from Call of Duty down to the most obscure indie early access demo. You know, uh, early access demo shouldn't be in the same sentence, but you guys understand. Um, there's a lot to enjoy, but unless you have a community to enjoy it with, some games just remain off limits. So we really, we love being able to create a space where people can feel like they can mention some obscure game. We each found out that Crash Test Racing came out this week because somebody piped up and was just like, "Yo, nobody's talked about this before, but I'm excited. Please play Crash Test Racing with me." Crash Team Racing? Do I have the it's one of those two.
Crash Team Rumble.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, so I was off on both accounts. Well, that's why we have you guys. You guys know what's up. Anyway, I really do love that. That's my favorite part of our community, that people have an opportunity to talk about obscure stuff with good people. So anyway, I'm gonna quit waxing poetic about that. So that was Exoprimal. Let's keep rolling this along. Let's actually bounce over to you, Sav, if that's cool. Which one? Can I hear about? Can I hear about Squad Blast first?
Yeah. So, Squad Blast is a game that I was introduced to at the DreamHack in Dallas. So as you know, I went down to DreamHack, uh, which is like a big gaming convention, big gaming technology convention that happens all over the country, and actually it's global too. And this one was in Dallas, and they had like this really cool like indie section called, I think, Games to Watch. And Vincent was actually like the head of that section. So he was like minding all the game guests and making sure they were being all taken care of and stuff. So I got the opportunity to go down there and like visit the booths and play all the games there. And the game that stood out to me the most is Squad Blast. And before I get into that, I do want to say that BattleBit, which is a game that like BattleBit Remastered, which is a low poly like 250 player Call of Duty like game, which just recently launched and became like the #1 bestseller on Steam. They also had a booth down there as well, and it was pretty cool to see like that before they hit the launch pad and took off and got famous and stuff. But this is about Squad Blast. I'm talking about Squad Blast. You can actually go and play it on Steam right now. Just download the game. I think it's like an early access or something like that. And it's basically like if Contra and Overwatch had a baby. Like
Oh.
it's like a 2D side-scrolling objective character-based shooter. And like it's a twin stick shoot. Well, not twin stick, but like you aim with the right stick, you move with the left stick and stuff. And then you have like your abilities that change based on the characters that you are. And right now there's characters. It's still, like I said, in early access, but they're like constantly updating the game, whether it's like physics and things like that. So I mean, you guys know how I roll. I like to find these like really like on the razor's edge, like super early access, competitive, like colorful vector art games and bring them to the forefront. And I wanted to do that with you guys. And I'm really glad that I got to, since I haven't been here for like 3 weeks. So when was DreamHack Dallas? That was like early
That was
June,
2 weeks ago.
Probably
2 weeks ago.
yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then, so I mean, I'm just
It's
now
been a
getting to
long
talk
month.
about it.
It's been a
Yeah.
really long month.
But no, it's great. So you choose your character, and you could be multiples of the same character. You're not beholden to like, it's like no limits Overwatch. You're not beholden to like the same, like only one per person. And of course, different characters excel at different things. But what's really cool is that the loadouts, like your abilities change from character, but your loadouts don't. So you can like all characters have a universal sidearm. So like their unit, like they could be a pistol or like a grenade or anything like that. All characters can use the same sidearms. But the main weapon that you can use depends on the class of the character that you are. So there is a character who's like a super stealthy, like cyber ninja dude, who's like wearing a cloak and stuff. His name is Hantu. And then there's another character called Dash, who's like this e-girl, like gamer. And they both are, I think, like light. I don't know what the classifications are, but I'm calling them light classes. And they can use shotguns and close range weaponry.
Nice.
And then there's like the classes that you can use assault rifles and the classes that you can use like grenade and rocket launchers and things like that. So your main weapon is determined by your character, but then your sidearm is determined by, I mean, nothing. It's like everyone has the same sidearms. So that's where the customization, tailoring to your playstyle comes into play, is deciding what main and sub weapon you like to use depending on what you're trying to do with your character. As always, I'm really big proponent for games that allow you to express your personality through the characters that you choose and how you play them. And this is really a game that allows you to do that despite having such a small pool of characters and weaponry to choose from, because I've only been playing since I was introduced to it like 2 weeks ago or so. And I've already seen so many different ways to play my favorite character, who's Dash. And actually, you can play on keyboard and controller, and it's also on the phone right now.
Oh,
They do
nice.
have plans to come, like, to consoles, like all consoles eventually. But right now, it's available for PC and mobile. And there are different control schemes on mobile that you can use, whether it's like full on control or you can have it like auto move, auto aim, and stuff for you. But my favorite character, Dash, I played against a person who uses keyboard and mouse. I'm more comfortable on controller.
Mhm.
And I learned a lot of cool stuff just based on like the movement techniques that they were doing that you can do just because you can. Like it's crazy the different amounts of like variety that you can squeeze into just a little tiny like loadout system like they have. So
Right.
it's pretty cool.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm excited for that. We did see, not that I could name them off the top of my head, but we did see plenty of games, at least 2 or 3 during the shows when we were having a watch party together, where we were like, oh, that's a Sov game. That's a Sov game. You know,
See,
uh,
I don't know if Crash Team Rumble was actually featured during any of those shows, but like as soon as I saw it, because I didn't get to watch any of those shows because I was so busy.
mhm.
But as soon as I saw it, I was just like, I wonder if somebody saw this game and thought of me immediately. Like,
you got a brand. You got a brand.
a very strong brand. But I really do feel I love this game so much, and I want more people to play with. I think it started out as like a mobile game because right now on Steam, the player pool is like kind of like on the smaller side. So like there are certain hours where you don't run into anybody, and
Oh,
it does
sure.
have like a very robust bot system, and they're super smart for no reason. So it kind of still gives you the challenge of playing against players, but also they're ruthless, so they don't give you a break, and it's kind of frustrating. But please play with me. The developers are also like really cool guys. I met them at the event there. Actually played a couple of matches with both of them, and one of them even
Cool.
said that like it was like my second game playing it. Like I'd never picked it up before. He was like, "This is only your second game, and you're already better than me." And I was like, "Oh wait, just kind of horrible." But um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll be super happy to have like more people playing all the time, and you can join their Discord. I'm not sure if it's discord.gg/squadblast, but if you go to like squadblast.com or whatever and look up the Discord, join and tell them I sent you because they're always looking for more people to like kick it with.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see if we can get a link to that. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I have one already. Let's see. We dropped this in chat here. There you go. I pulled that off their website just now. That was really easy to find. Hell yeah. Um, I just got a Discord alert today, appropriate to this, relevant, that multiverses, right? The servers are shutting down in a few days. I'd forgotten that they hadn't already shut down. What a weird situation that is. I mean, the game will be back later, but what a weird thing, you know. So I'm glad that this is games like this are still here to kind of take that side scroller, customizable character niche that we kind of have missed. Most people jumped off of multiverses as soon as we found out that it wasn't going to be around, like it was going to be
Yep.
absolutely unplayable for a very long time. So Squad Blast, happy for that. Happy for you, Sov. Yeah, hashtag sovereign squad, maybe. Um, I'll bounce
Well, I think they
over.
do actually have a clan system, so I mean, I'll start one up for us if we need to,
Oh,
because
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
do
you should
it.
do that. Let's make that happen. We can't make fetch happen, but we can make squad blast happen. Or sovereign squad. I don't know. It's your squad. You make the name. I don't get to tell people what it is. But let's see. So I'll bounce over to me for a second, and then we'll actually bounce back to you after that, Sav. But for me, I've been playing three different roguelikes lately. I have been pretty busy in my personal life lately, so not that I haven't been gaming, but I've been sticking to the things that I can multitask while I'm doing. Um, the first one there is Loop Hero. So all three of these games I've played, I've made good progress in lately. So the first one is Loop Hero. That is a game by Devolver Digital that I've been playing that I've also talked about in the past. I mean, shoot, we haven't really had a real podcast in like a month. We've had Oops All Games and the watch parties and stuff. But in Loop Hero, it is an idle game. It is exactly the game I had hoped it would be when I downloaded it. It is an idle game where you have a loop that you go on, and you create the enemies that you will fight and the resources that you will gather on this loop by placing map tiles around the map. So uh, your loop that you're on, it's just a cobblestone path. Of course, the game looks like an an NES game, like it has a CRT mode and everything, which I use and really enjoy. Um, you have this element of you running around and you equip your character, and every loop that you go around, the enemies get stronger. But as you kill them, you get better and better gear. You can manipulate the game to give you certain types of enemies that you want, or maybe you're stronger against. That you'll see more of them. And let's say I put a forest tile down on my cobblestone path. Now, when I walk through that, I get a piece of wood, which I use. Well, I'll tell you about what I do with that in a minute. But I get a piece of wood. Every time I go through a loop, I visit my campfire, I get a piece of stone. If I do certain other things, I get special items that they aren't really upfront what they do, but you keep gathering them. You kind of learn. The game doesn't really teach you how to do anything. It's all trial by error, which is one of my favorite things in roguelikes. It's a discovery game and a player knowledge game, right? You don't necessarily level up your character. You kind of do. Again, I'll tell you about that in a second. But most of the game happens with the knowledge that you pick up as you play. So when you put certain tiles next to each other, they both transform into something new. And even by making tiles transform into something new, you get an orb of transformation. Just another resource you can use to upgrade your settlement. So part of the game is a settlement builder, but it's not a settlement sim the way that like Cult of the Lamb would be. In that game, you're running around, you're keeping some bars up, you're gathering resources, you're making sure everybody in your settlement has a task. This is way, way, way simpler. You just build little tiles that give you an advantage in your next loop. Like, hey, you unlocked a new equipment slot, which is huge. Instead of having 4 pieces of armor, you can now have 5. And it looks like by the end of the game, I'll be able to have like 8 or something. But it's really interesting. I really like it. It's definitely not for most people, I think. I think most people would not like this game. But I really do, because I like to put it on one monitor and play it in slow motion, just let the game run itself. And I have it pause after every loop, every successful loop. It's one of those games where if you think you're not going to survive the next loop, if you think you're struggling, it's better to just take your chips and leave. You keep everything you get if you take your chips and go home. But if you die in combat, you only get 30% of everything you've gathered. And the loop you've been on may have only been 5 minutes or might have been 30 minutes. So you really want to be careful with that. But the thing for me is I put it on one screen while I'm editing videos or I'm watching our friends on Twitch or whatever else is happening. It's a game that is just fine if I'm only focusing on it, but it's great if it's a multitask thing. So I beat the first boss. I beat the first boss for the first time. I've now beaten him 3 times. One thing I don't like from this game is it doesn't always tell you how you're supposed to unlock like the next goal. Right now, I need a resource to upgrade pretty much any of my stuff. I need a resource that I've never seen yet. So I don't know how to get that resource. I've experimented a lot. I'm not sure if I just have to keep beating the boss for a while because I keep unlocking things when I beat him, but it's unclear. I wish it was a tiny bit more clear. I'm all about the discovery, but I wish it was a little more obvious what my goal was. Like I don't even need to know how to do it. Just give me an idea of like what does progress look like here? Do I just keep running the loops? Because I've pretty much done that and I know how to cheese it. I know how to make a type of loop that I will always win. It's just a matter of time of letting the loop run, Which fortunately, I'm happy that there's a fast forward motion. You can make the game go really, really fast. It'll usually get you killed, but if you do it right, it's very useful. But anyway, that's Loop Hero. I'm liking that. Again, it's an idle game, but it's on Game Pass. That's where I'm playing it. So if that's something that you think you're interested in, something to kind of multitask with, maybe you just want to sit in front of your computer and watch Twitch over here and play this as you go, then it's great for that. So that's Loop Hero. Darkest Dungeon 2, I finally beat the first boss as well. I saw on one of their update posts on social media, they were like, hey, here, they keep posting like, hey, here's how this mechanic works. And since I played in early access, most of the game I already know how it works, but some stuff did change. One of those things is that I found out when you are on your first, when you have not yet beaten the first boss, when you have not ever done that yet, you are not required to beat one of the special area bosses. They're pretty hard and that have killed me a whole lot. They seem optional, but in the first, before you've beaten the boss for the first time, you do not need to fight those at all. I thought you did, because in the later runs, once you've beaten the main boss one time, you do have to fight those optional layer bosses to get their head as a trophy, to gain access to the darkest dungeon at the end, the mountain at the end. So once I saw that post and they were like, hey, you don't have to get the trophy in your first set of runs, I was just like, oh my gosh, that optional boss is the one that kills me every single time. If I don't have to fight them, then I'm fine. And immediately beat the boss. Immediately beat it on my first real run once I knew that. So I've officially beaten the game once with an asterisk. I'm excited because my characters are dope. I have a lot of the candle currency that allows you to upgrade your characters over time. And yeah, things are going well. I am just really enjoying the game. I'm going to show you here some footage. This is back from early access, so I'm actually about to show you some stuff that I haven't unlocked yet in the 1.0 version. But the game rules. I am specifically upgrading individual characters all the way first because the name of this game is you want all your friends to be pals with each other, and you want each of your characters to just be a powerhouse. If one of your characters dies, you will get a chance to replace them later. Um, when you reach the end of a region, right? So like in most roguelikes, you have a forking path that you choose from, and then at the end you fight a boss, and then you go to a safe area. Well, this is just like that. Once you get to that safe area, you can replace one of your characters. You can spend, you can do all sorts of stuff to invest in your team. But I've learned that instead of doing jack of all trades and like spreading out all my points, it's way more valuable to have like one at a time, to have one really reliable person who's always going to hit really hard, who's always going to be more likely to resist, bleed effects or something. There's more to talk about this game than I really have time to right now, but I'm excited that I beat the first boss. I keep seeing more. I just don't have enough time to play this game as much as I want. Um, I really recommend it. There's still issues with this game that I have that really stem from what I believe to be a design where they were trying to build Darkest Dungeon 2 and the tabletop board game of this game at the same time. I think they tried to build them very close together, and sometimes effects that kind of add some flair and seem cool maybe on paper, they just don't make a lot of gameplay sense. They don't make sense from a having fun perspective. I don't know if those things will get changed. I think since they were design decisions that they're here to stay. So I do have, some qualms with the way certain things are presented. But overall, I'm really enjoying this game. I mean, like a lot. The more I play it, the more I enjoy it. So yeah, I think it was originally $20 on Steam. Maybe it's $40. I'll look that up here in a second, but I'm having fun with that. And then the last game, and I'm only going to take 2 seconds on this because I will talk about it next week after I beat it, is Bleak Sword! Bleak Sword DX, which is I've got the picture, I've got a wallpaper here as my background for my video. It is a very simple game that only has like 3 buttons. You play as this little guy with the sword and shield over here. You've got a parry, a dodge, and then a light and heavy attack. So I guess you have 4 abilities, and that's totally it. Like that's really all there is to this game. The simplicity is what makes it so good. There are lots of enemy types, little guys, anything from frogs and skeletons that you have to kill twice, to these big, strong mini bosses that may seem really tough the first time you face them, and then later on the game's like, okay, we're gonna throw 3 of these in a row at you while you're fighting spiders and leeches and mosquitoes. And all this stuff. But like I said, its simplicity is where it's really strong. You look at the game as if it's from a diorama. So or it's isometric even. It's not quite isometric, but it's close by. To define isometric, think of if you were to draw a 3D cube, right? If you were to draw a cube on a piece of paper, that's an isometric perspective. That's what that looks like. So this game is close to that. It's really super simple. Bleak Sword I'm talking about. I had the Darkest Dungeon footage still going. But Bleak Sword, apparently the game came out 2 years ago, and this is the deluxe version. Maybe even longer than 2 years. It might have been 2019. COVID, makes 4 years seem like 2. But the game is cool. It describes itself as a pocket-sized adventure, which I think is great. I think the game is very forgiving with dying. It's you don't really lose a lot when you die, which is great. You lose a little, but you don't lose your progress. Your character stays leveled up. The fact that you don't have to like restart the game when you die, like most games like Hades or Spelunky, most roguelikes, that makes this really accessible as far as roguelikes go. And this is the kind of game you can pick up and play for 5 minutes if you want. 5 minutes or an hour or 5 hours. We will, on our 4th session, which is next Monday, tune in around 7 p.m. Pacific time. We will beat this game. I was overly optimistic that we might beat it in 3 after how strongly this week's stream started, but then it kicked my butt, and that quickly became.
I mean, at least this game is not Overwhelm. Overwhelm is not.
Is it?
You cannot expect anything with that game.
No. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm ever gonna beat Overwhelm. Certainly not on stream because that game started to make me mad, and turns out being mad when you play doesn't make you better at the game. So, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna beat that game on stream. But anyway, those are 3 roguelikes I've really been enjoying. Tune in next week for Bleak Sword on Monday. But yeah, the other 2 I've been playing off stream. We'll see Darkest Dungeon on stream for sure. I don't think I'm ever going to stream Loop Hero. It's a fun game, but it's just not made for streaming. But yeah, really enjoying those. Just popping off on the like dark fantasy. Darkest Dungeon is Lovecraft, but the other ones are just like dark, spooky.
I mean, it's certainly like a vibe. Is there anything that you want to tell us? Like anything happening in life right now? You
I
feeling
will
okay?
overcome all obstacles. That's what that means. I will make the best of a bad situation, like spilling. Oh, hi, kitty. Like spilling my beer all over my keyboard and floor moments after the stream started. I will overcome all obstacles. So that's it for me. That's a ton of stuff I've played. I even talked about it longer than I meant to, so I apologize. But loving those games. We're in the age of the roguelike, man. Even with Steam Next Fest, there are more roguelikes than you could possibly play. Even between our community, I don't think we could hit them all in a week. It's a good time to be playing. But enough about me. Sav, let's bounce back to you to hear a little about another comfort game, another crowd pleaser.
Yeah. So I guess I got the S thing going on today because we're moving on from Squad Blast to Splatoon 3. Yay! I mean, I've been playing Splatoon 3 for like as long as I mean, the game's come out. I
I
have
mean,
not
out the
stopped playing.
womb, you've
So,
been playing that
but
thing.
I mean, honestly, there's some parallel universe that's true. We had the technology in some other universe.
That's Wa Sovereign who is over there constantly playing that.
Oh my god.
But she's really rude.
And
is a very
disgusting.
bad player.
Very
disgusting.
Like the worst player.
Really
Like
hot-headed, bad at all games.
gosh,
Wasav.
that sounds like an awful. I would never want to meet that person.
When do we get Wasav emotes? That's what I'm saying.
Oh Lord, with a green dress. I'm not even going to conceptualize it. Nope, we're moving on. Splatoon 3. So recently they started the new season, which is the Sizzle season, and alongside that, they came out with like some new weapons, some new modes, and things like that. So recently, over the weekends, they've been doing what's called challenge modes, and there's actually one coming up this weekend, I believe, as well. And the first one basically randomized the weapons that were available to you during your turf wars. So you wouldn't be able to choose your weapon. You would go in, and then you would be randomly assigned a weapon after you load it into a match. So that was really cool because it forced people outside of their comfort zones, very obviously.
Yeah.
And it got me to play like a lot of the weapons that I would just ignore on principle just because they're not really my playstyle, like the sniper weapons, which are called chargers.
That's ironic.
Turns out, I mean,
I would have named any other class the Chargers normally, right? I mean, I guess the sniper in Exoprimal has a big charge laser, but normally I would think of the charge as the Reinhardt or the charge.
It is specifically about how it shoots, though.
Yeah, the reason it's called a charge is because it charges up your snipe and then you let it loose. So, and then like at a full charge, it's like Widowmaker's sniper,
I wouldn't name her charge though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, these are the hot takes.
I am the Widow Charger. Like, but I did, just about as poorly with that weapon type as I thought I would. But I did get a couple of splats, which pleasantly surprised me. I was just like, I don't know, maybe I'm not as bad as I thought. We still won. We ended up winning. So,
hell yeah.
I mean, it wasn't thanks to my team. I can say that much.
But
this weekend,
Sovereign Squad,
exactly.
You gotta keep that close knit, and they weren't in it,
They this weekend is going to be like the foggy. I think it's like I can't remember the name of the actual event, but basically all the stages are going to be foggy, which is a kind of weather effect that happens usually in Salmon Run. And I mean, as the name would imply, your visibility is obscured because like it's going to be a whole bunch of like thick ass fog everywhere. So it's basically like a fog of war situation where you can only see so much in front of you, and you can still choose your weapons this time around. You can do your loadouts and everything. It's just that you won't be able to see. So map knowledge is going to be the key here because the better you know the map, the better you can navigate it when you can't see what's going on. And what's really neat is that the challenge modes give you free tokens to use like what's called the shell out machine, which is like a little gotcha gumball machine that gives you prizes and stuff. Normally, it's 5,000 tokens to play, or for the first play of the day, but then after that it's 30,000 for whatever reason. So usually, ideally, you just want to play once per day, but this gives you free tokens that you can use after every 5 wins. So that's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Sizzle Season has introduced a lot of cool stuff. I know that I can't remember if this weekend or next weekend, but we have a new Splatfest on the horizon as well. Which is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Mine was not listed, so I just chose vanilla. Yeah.
No. Well, what was listed?
The 3 choices are vanilla, strawberry, and mint chocolate chip.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is going to be the second Splatfest that I don't support my girl Fry, because I hate artificial strawberry, and I'm not going to pretend that I like it for the Splatfest. It just tastes. It's the worst. It's the worst. Artificial strawberry is the worst. It's even worse than artificial banana to me, and that stuff is bad.
Soft standards are just so fucking over the roof. Just
and you
wild.
know what's really funny? I get teased a lot because like, my favorite flavor of like a whole bunch of chip brands is original. Like,
oh, I've come around on like original Lay's, and when I was growing up, I was like, that's
yeah.
the dumbest. Why would I get the original flavor when I could have barbecue chips?
Well, like the real kicker is like my favorite flavor of Sun Chips is original. Like,
Sun Chips don't miss though.
You can't even find that in sandwich shops. It's like the
Dude,
cheese ones or the salsa ones or nothing, and it's just like, give me original.
I was in a Subway yesterday. They didn't have any Sun Chips, and I was like, we used to.
I mean, first of all, your first mistake was going to the Subway.
Yeah,
so.
I paid like $20 for a footlong sub. It was really. I mean, with a combo, but isn't that crazy? It was like $19.50. It's crazy.
And you didn't even get Sun Chips.
Dude, that's like going to Sonic. It's like, bruh. Yeah, sure, your food's good, but I gotta give you my firstborn for it,
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Yeah,
ice cream.
Well, anyway, like I said before, focus.
Yeah.
Quit talking about Subway.
Focus. So I chose vanilla because out of those 3, vanilla, I mean, I do like cookies and cream is my favorite flavor. For those who are wondering, it's my favorite. And vanilla comes pretty close. Ideally, I like French vanilla because my standards are like Vilos was saying. But vanilla is vanilla, so I have to support Shiver this time. Ugh. Anyway, so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing who else is going to be on my team, because I know vanilla is not like the most popular flavor, especially with every flavor that's available. But I mean, out of the 3, I think it's the best one, because otherwise it's awful artificial strawberry or toothpaste.
Or toothpaste. Oh my gosh! Don't talk about Andy's mints that way.
You have not had the right mint chocolate chip. Just gonna say that right now.
Okay, well, that's just like telling a lesbian that she hasn't had the right. So, I mean,
I can't 100% argue with that logic, but
oh, I'm gonna get you that mint chocolate chip. You just gotta find the right tub. Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. During Pride Month, Vilos.
Wow.
Pride Month.
God, show some respect, okay?
God.
I can't believe you'd defend toothpaste like that.
I mean, he was all over Colgate Chan and Fire Emblem. So
maybe
I
I
mean, it stands
was.
to reason.
Yeah. There's history there, obviously.
I'm guessing that you would choose Team Mint Chocolate Chip. I want to hear in chat. Chat, what's your team?
Hold on, I'm working on a poll, actually. We're gonna...
Oh, okay.
Okay, everybody's got 1 vote. We're gonna have this up for 10 minutes. Let's see if I do this. I usually mess up our polls, but anybody should be able to see this in chat now. If you're listening from the future, please let us know on Twitter, Facebook, or Discord what team of ice cream you're on. The 5 that I offered chat here are vanilla, mint chocolate, and strawberry. I didn't say toothpaste or fake strawberry, just to show, to give them each a chance.
Of course, yeah, we have to be fair and just.
Also, cookies and cream and cookie dough. A couple crowd pleasers, I don't know where Cosmopolitan would go on there.
Do you mean Neapolitan?
I did mean Neapolitan. Is Cosmopolitan a type of?
Cosmopolitan is a drink.
Okay, then definitely Neapolitan. Well,
I'm voting cookies and cream because it's an option, but those I wish that were a flavor in Splatfest. I don't care who it would be for. Just like, But for the Splatfest, for the purpose of the Splatfest, I am Team Vanilla. So anyone joining the Splatfest in Splatoon 3, please come play with me on Team Vanilla, the righteous choice. The only choice.
Well, perfect. Let's see. So that's Splatoon 3's newest. Is this called a salmon run?
Splatfest. So the Splatfests are basically like, would you rather do this, or this? and then you choose a team, and then over the weekend you battle it out for supremacy, and the winning team not only gets the bragging rights and everything, but they also get sea snail shells. I have to really try that. Sea snail shells, which are a currency that you can use to really upgrade your gear and augment them without having to pay the in-game money, because it costs a lot of money to upgrade your stuff without the sea snail shells. I have to really
sea snail shells.
sea snail shells.
All right, that's that is
No,
a tongue toucher.
the salmon run is the multiplayer mode, not. It's the co-op mode. It's the co-op mode.
Oh, okay.
So you go. It's like a zombie wave sort of situation. Salmonids invade from the ocean, and you have to eliminate them and take their eggs and then put them in the basket and then complete the waves and that stuff. But what's really cool about Splatoon 3 is that they take place on actual stages now. Instead of just in the salmon run stages, there's something called Big Run that happens every so often. So it's another event. And they invade the actual levels, like multiplayer turf war stages, and it's really cool because there are new boss types in that as well, and you can earn trophies and stuff.
Nice.
All that to say, buy Splatoon 3, y'all, and play it with me, please, because they're about to release a DLC, their first DLC, which is a story mode, a new campaign. It's so good. I love Splatoon.
Sav, make a post in the bulletin board there on Discord, and I'll always have a place to send people. Everybody.
We do love our bulletin board. Yeah.
We do. We love the forums in our Discord lately. It's all work in progress, but we're really enjoying it. Yeah, we'll get more people to play Splatoon 3, but Vilos, let's bounce back to you for something that's brand spanking new.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this week.
16.
This week's little blurb is going to be real quick because I just got it. I haven't gotten to play the official thing. Nice. The Final Fantasy 16 demo, though, has been released for a couple weeks, and yeah. So if you have a PS5, you literally have to play the 16 demo.
It's the law.
It's the law.
It is. They say it's a 2-hour demo. It can be 2 hours, but really it's a solid hour to an hour and a half, depending on how you play it. But it's so fucking good. You'll hear a lot about the comparisons to Game of Thrones. It's 110% unavoidable. They literally take so many of the archetypes from Game of Thrones and put them into this. The referential stuff is so clear, and early reviews of the game have said even more of that. But suffice to say, this is actually less of a Final Fantasy game than we've had in a long time. And as you can see in the video here, look at that doggo. Oh my god, he's so cool. I'm blanking on his name right now, but the game starts with a story bit, and it introduces you to the fact that you're Clive. You're kind of a prince, but not really, because your dad's the Archduke, and you have a brother and sister. Your brother is the immediate heir, and we don't know why exactly in the story, but like I said, with the Game of Thrones things, I kind of telegraphed where the story is going in my head already. But your little brother is the guy that is he's not only the heir, but he's actually the heir to a family power that they've inherited across the years, and you see it in the demo. He can turn into a fucking phoenix.
Ooh,
it's legit. It's beautiful.
Wait, how little is the little brother? What's the age?
Oh, he's little. He's little. He's 11 maybe.
Okay, and the main character, how old is he?
Main character. Well, that's the thing. You actually play across 3 different times in this game. And in the demo, you play through at least 2 of them.
Wow.
Because there's clear physical differences in Clive, but you might actually. It's very weird. The beginning starts with very far into the future of the game, so it's weird how the demo does it. But it introduces you to the fact that there are warring factions across the duchies. Duchy is a word that Triangle Strategy used, and boy, they're using it all over again in this game.
They did exist, the Grand Duchy.
It's just funny how certain creators are like, we really like this word.
Yeah, like you could call it like the domain or whatever, but no, Square games are now everybody says the duchy like every time, and it's just funny hearing voice actors say it all the time.
I'm changing my community from the sovereignty to the duchy.
Exactly, like I kind of would be down for that, but it's a very Western thing. The whole team, Yoshi P and everybody that makes the Final Fantasy games, like they actually specifically went for this. They tried to make a Western RPG because it very much, the action, the combat is hella good. The combat feels like a JRPG, right? An action JRPG. And I think you only played one of the clips, right? If you play the other one,
it looks very like Kingdom Heartsy almost.
Yeah, it
like
is
not quite as like not quite as passive as like Final Fantasy 15. Because I mean, Final Fantasy 15 was like still like hands-on real-time combat.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah, this is real-time combat. You are not resting at all. You're pressing all the buttons.
Yeah, and that's how it feels in like Kingdom Hearts. You are always pressing something for some reason. It's almost like a Tales of combat system, kind of like a newer Tales of.
I mean, it's not like it is straight one-to-one action, because every move you make is something. So like throughout, you might see there's 3 little dots on the right bottom of the screen, and you have different icons, so different powers for different elementals that you have. Basically, you've captured these creatures called dominants that have spectacular powers, and you gain their abilities after beating them. Blah blah blah.
Suffice to say, like mini Eidolons then?
So
no, it's like a couple letters different. It's not the same. Okay. You capture these ones and you summon them and get their powers. It's wait, which
the icons? The icon powers are exactly all the Final Fantasy summons, like as far as we've been shown so far.
You know, when I read it, it's spelled EIKON.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was
I read it as icon. You know, yeah. I mean the jokes. I'm like, how iconic.
Yeah. Is it not icon?
Well, it said it. Let me pull this. Well, actually, I'll bring it up in a second. But,
in game, it's icons.
Oh, okay. Well, them voice actors need to know how to read. No,
I'm telling you, it's all English voice cast. But
is this Ankylosaur all over again?
But it's really fantastic. The combat is swift. It's very accessible. I shared a pic in Discord about one of the accessibility options that people that are against accessibility for some reason are being assholes about it right now on Twitter. But one of the coolest things is that from the start of the game, they give you these rings that you can equip. You could equip rings to basically make everything you do a one button press. So you can make certain combos happen by just pressing a button once.
That's nice.
And like certain, I think it's certain healing and certain like icon changes or something like that. Different face button things, you can actually kind of like turbo mode them to get the best out of the situation and make battles faster and things like that.
Speedrunners are gonna love that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really about the accessibility of it, but also they want you to go through the story, period. They don't want you to have any hangups on it. They give you QTEs that, at least in the demo, the QTEs don't even matter because you could just sit there and not do anything, and it'll just wait for you to press the button. But suffice to say, you have, in every battle, not even just the boss fights, you can have QTE moments. Your dodges are super important to building up combos, and like there's so many cutscenes enwrapped like within just basic battles that it's very exciting. Nothing's ever samey. Obviously, if I play 70 hours of this game, it might be a little bit different towards the end. But it's one of those RPGs that feels like it's doing something different for you every time you play. So it's not immediately boring, and that's just the first couple hours of the demo that I played. I did complete it, but if you do have a PS5, download it because the story is amazing. You end the story mode of the demo with a very heart-wrenching killer moment that a lot of streamers have already reacted to in the past couple weeks. it like if you're not going to play the game, go watch it on YouTube or Twitch or something. So everybody's got a VOD of it right now. It's wild. But then once you finish the story mode of it, it gives you a better mode that's later in the game with a lot of powers. That's not actually like it's not the way that you're playing in that part of the game once you get there. But they go ahead and give you a lot of different powers to go with at that time, and it's just really really cool. Very in depth demo, and the story progression goes to the main game save. So that's what I'm doing tonight after all this.
Hell yeah.
Getting right into it. It's fantastic.
I'm excited for you. We saw across all the releases and announcements and demos and everything over this long month of June that is only 3/4 done. Um, the Final Fantasy 16 demo dropped out of nowhere, right? Am I wrong there? I think they were just like, "Hey, this is
Pretty
the game.
much, it
Go
was
play it
after.
now."
Yeah, it was after all the showcase stuff.
Big fan. Big fan of that, especially since, well, you know what? Especially since more stuff that we'll talk about when we get to the party topic. Let's take a short break here, and then we'll come back. We're going to talk about, we've each got two games, I guess two games, uh, from the whole month of shows. None of us have seen everything. Maybe Vilos has. You're definitely the most likely, but there's so much to see, and I know that a lot of people like me felt kind of gamed out after like 4 solid days of of one of the weekends of shows. So we're gonna hopefully cover some of our favorites. Maybe not even the best ones that we saw because there's so many that deserve mentioning, but just the ones that really caught our fancy that we want to shout out here. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back with that in just a few minutes. We're back, baby!
Yo,
Saab, where'd you get that shirt? Did they give it to you with a tub of popcorn? Custom one that you asked for?
You son of a bitch.
Callbacks.
I pulled it right out of that little question block. I just hit it with my fist and bam, it popped out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Violets, what did you get in yours?
Never ever.
Sorry, we're gonna have to compose ourselves here. What? Oh, I turned it off just as. Oh, Saab, that was perfect.
Oh no, they missed my tea drinking.
They
Sad.
did. They heard it, but
Yeah.
yeah, sorry about that. Okay, well, we're back from break, and we are ready to tell you about our favorite games that we saw, that we've seen over the past month of many, many game shows. So people kind of have fatigue on that right now. It's fun that there were so many good shows, but it's a lot of footage to get through, you know? It's like the struggle of now having such a robust indie scene on top of an already busy time of year for big publishers, means that it's really tough to catch it all. Because I would say it's less about the quality of the things we're getting now, because we've seen lots of bangers, but it's really about making the time to actually be able to watch it. So there are more shows and games than we could possibly talk about tonight. Even if we spent the entire show talking about it, we still wouldn't cover it all. What we did do is over the Summer Game Fest weekend, we had some watch parties for Summer Games Fest, Day of the Devs, the Devolver Showcase. And then later on in the weekend, we watched, I know on Sunday was the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase with the Starfield Direct after, and the PC Game Showcase, which is horrible. I wish that wouldn't come back. I very, very strongly dislike that, actually. Yeah.
What happened?
You can blame PC Gamer for that one though, so that's all on
PC
them.
Gamer's the problem. I don't even want to get into it. I'll talk about it later because I'd rather focus on the things that were good. But that show wasn't good, and it's the second year in a row it wasn't good. It was more skit than anything, and the skit wasn't funny. The person who wrote it, I don't think is funny. So it didn't go well. Anyway, enough of me being salty at that specific show. Most of the rest of the weekend was great, and in fact, the Day of the Devs specifically was my favorite part of the weekend. I know I talked to you guys about loving to see the behind-the-scenes stuff there. So in addition to a bunch of cool games we saw, I really liked the chatting with the developers. We saw more behind the scenes with Double Fine Studios. And another studio I wish I could remember right now, but really liked it. Highly recommend watching that whole show. If there's only one show that I've seen that I recommend watching from start to finish, it's that one. Devolver was part game part game stuff and part comedy. You know how it is. This time it was even darker comedy than we usually get. I liked it. But if that's not your thing, then just checking out the trailers is enough. Um, Gosh, there was so many. It was hard to even pick two. There were so many things. There was the Nintendo Direct that Saab, you're gonna have stuff to talk about that I haven't even looked at all. There was the Mix Vilos, which you saw, which was an in-person indie event. They got shut down at the last second by the fire marshal in
Yeah,
LA, I
Uh,
think,
huh?
yeah,
because
yeah. That was
the
like the
venue
event.
didn't have the
Yeah,
permits. The venue didn't have
yeah.
the permits, so everyone who flew in, who had everything prepared, like an hour before the event, it was closed because they didn't have the permits to hold the event correctly.
Literally dozens of people, and they all spent money to
Wow.
get
Wow.
there. Like they're not fucking LA people. Like, are you kidding me?
They're all
These are
indie devs.
indies.
They're not rolling in money. They don't, that's the kind of thing where like people are paying out of their own pocket. Like the company is their personal bank account. That's all.
Which
That's the beginning and end of it.
which show was that?
Um, I don't remember what the.
That was for the mix, the Media Indie Exchange.
Oh, that was the
Um,
actual event.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Um,
that's a clever name. I kind of like that.
it was a
Too
good
bad it doesn't
name.
seem like they were clever planners.
No.
It wasn't the mix's fault. That was the thing. So I think they're actually getting into legal shit now. So
I
Oh.
all
Yeah,
good.
I mean, honestly, that's probably. Could you consider that a class action? Because so many people were affected.
I
Like,
mean,
is
it was a
there?
lot of people. I don't know if it was enough, but yeah, it was
Yeah, I don't
very,
know enough.
very wild.
I will claim to be one of those people if it helps push them over the. Like,
Before,
I was
well,
personally victimized.
right? Like I demand, somebody's got to fix this. It really was like a sad thing to see, but and we'll find the link to this, one of the three of us before the end of the stream to drop in the notes or the chat here. But the good that came out of it was one of the people who was supposed to be streaming from the event was like, "Hey, this is a really tough situation, and all of you came here to show off something. Let's still do that." So he interviewed people like overnight throughout the entire night from when the event was supposed to happen until like the sun came up the next day. Uh, made he interviewed and talked to all these indie devs. And as when we were muted during the break, Vilas was telling me that it's not really in a great form to just watch like you'd watch the direct or you'd watch the Day of the Devs. Um, there was a lot of good stuff in there, but it was flying by the seat of your pants, so maybe there'll be a more digestible version later. But it was really nice to see that community come together and turn a bad situation, Darkest Dungeon style, make the best of a bad situation and get some success out of it. But there's all this stuff that we could break down from these shows. Overall, I think I had a really great time. Um, maybe we'll have a chance some other time to really break down our thoughts here because there's a lot of really interesting stuff happened that wasn't even the game trailers. But we want to talk about those game trailers. So let's do that now. We've each got a couple in here. Um, I tell you what, we'll save this for the end, but we are going to talk about Starfield. They had an entire multiple directs about it, multiple showcases about it that added up to almost 2 hours. Um, I'm so excited. So I wanted to make sure we talked about it here, but we'll save it for the end. And those of you who are really excited about it have probably already watched all the footage. So, you're not going to hear anything new, but it's absolutely worth being excited for. Vilos, could we actually start with this first one that I'm really glad you chose, 33 Immortals. I think this is a game that is going to pop for us if we can get the crew for it.
Yeah, 33 Immortals. I just it's the newest Thunder Lotus game. All right, and the
Remind
important
me again
thing,
what they were behind for.
Sundered and Jotun are the big ones.
Very colorful. They love
Just
colorful games.
their art is some of the most spectacular in any
Hand
game
drawn
you'll
is
see.
one of the things that they mentioned
Yeah,
too, that they do every time. It's all hand drawn.
yeah,
Wow.
and so they're coming off of Spiritfarer, and so like the visuals here are a little bit different.
Sounds like I know that one. It's on my
Yeah,
bingo
I
card.
know that one.
but it's kind of like they went backwards a little bit for the art style here, but how they describe 33 Immortals, it's a co-op action roguelike for 33 players.
33, yeah.
And if
Boom.
you win, you live forever.
I could see that actually with the way they run stuff. But it's a lot of actual like raid boss type battles, horde fights, and the point is to face the wrath of God in the ultimate fight for your eternal life. So
And you're just
maybe
speaking
you
off the top of your
actually,
head there. You're not
Oh,
reading
so it's a
anything.
Kirby game. Got it.
yeah. And so it is it's in early access, or it's
Vincent in
about
chat
to be in
says
early
this
access.
is the kind of game you get isekai'd by. You know,
Yeah.
pulled into it. You got to face you got to fight the wrath of God, really.
Yeah. And so it's going to be in early access 2024 on Epic, Xbox, PC, um, and Game Pass. I think it was another Game Pass Day 1 for early access. And I mean, the thing is that if you haven't already, actually, I will get the sign up link in here in chat. If you haven't signed up, sign up via this link to get not only to be informed on updates for 33 Immortals, but Thunder Lotus has some of the best emails in the business. I read every
really?
damn one of them that I get, and they don't have a whole lot of games out. They're always just saying cool stuff about what they've done and where they're going, and it's really great to see developers that are like these guys. Like uh, they are in it for the art of it. They are in it for their passions. I will literally watch them do any of their games. I will just be a part of. Period. But just seeing this video here of seeing your crowd just expand
So many
into
people.
the huge
So
amount of
many
people, like this is just the ultimate dungeon crawling kind of experience, and that's what I live for. Like, and it being online instead of like fucking Trinity Trigger being local co-op only. Like half of the dungeon crawlers right now are local co-op only, and it's so stupid in this world that we live in that has internet everywhere. Like, why do we not have more online games doing this?
Yeah.
You know,
Vilos, what's wrong? Don't you have a couch?
We thought everybody had a
no.
couch.
And so yeah, this isn't like playing an MMO. You're just hacking and slashing and doing little magic and stuff like that. The only thing that I feel like might be a little weird with this game is the communication. I don't know that it's going to have in-game communication at
I
all. So
hope
it'll
there are
probably be a Discord
33
thing.
people talking over each other in a very low quality
Yeah,
voice environment.
Oh my god. Let's
that's
break
the
out
only
Ventrilo.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one caveat to this experience that I was like, well, how is that going to work? But otherwise,
Maybe it's gonna be like Journey, where it's just like a bunch of like bing boom.
it very well
I
could be.
think
Yeah.
it would have to be. I think the negative press they'd get from the memery of bad voice chat, not even toxic voice chat, but just like,
Just bad.
yeah, this place is the
Yeah.
infrastructure is falling apart. I don't think they would do it, but
Yeah, and
I mean,
this.
we know what happened with like the whole Nintendo Switch app mobile voice chat thing.
Mhm.
Like they really don't want to go that route at all.
no.
And this is the first time that they've ever done anything like this in any of their releases. Like their stuff is single player. Period. That's it. So I'm intrigued to see like they
Really
won't
making
fail.
up for it then, right?
Yeah, like they won't fail at it at all. But it has taken them a long time to like they've always had the art of their games. Like Jotun is good but not great in a lot of people's eyes because it really is this experience for single player. But it's bosses and difficulty and sometimes unreliable controls. And then Sundered came out and it was slightly better, and then Spiritfarer came out and it's a lot better. So it's the progression of the company is great to see. So I don't doubt them, but it is going to be wild to see something completely different from them.
33 players. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. I
Yeah.
really hope it goes well. You know, we're making jokes about the voice chat and stuff, but Barotrauma was a game that technically supports up to 16 people, and I can't even hear one other person when we're in the same room on the sub together. So, you know, I don't know how 16 players was ever supposed to work in game, but hopefully these
I'm
guys will.
more worried about like what kind of servers they'll have. Like, is it going to be dedicated? Because if it's peer to peer and they're trying to do that, I don't know. Especially if they're coming, are they going to be like, is their goal on all platforms? Because if they're going to do that and they like bring their game to the Switch, which is definitely not known for having the best
Oh
infrastructure
no,
on the internet.
it's definitely not going to be Switch. It's PC and Xbox
How would
only.
the Switch
Oh,
don't
okay.
even know what to do with that thing?
Speaking of which, I think you have mine.
What?
We have the same.
Oh, the
It's the
Splatoon
same
things on
exact.
it. That's hilarious. I
Why
was
did you
like,
say that
no,
for me?
what?
No,
I'm like, I can tell you for a fact I do not have the
Literally right
Switch.
now.
that's crazy.
That's so funny. Yeah, 33 Immortals gonna be amazing. I cannot wait. We're gonna have to wait, but that's okay because we got shit tons of other stuff to play right now.
We do. I'm also posting for those who are interested. I'm keeping the show notes for the very first time. We're keeping the show notes in one of these posts on Discord. I'm going to drop that in here. So if there's anything you've missed and anybody in the future, you can find that with all the links that we've dropped. Anything from the Squad Blast Discord to links to some of these trailers I'll put in there. And everything, including the Thunder Lotus sign up that Vilos just mentioned. So yeah, sign up for 33 Immortals. We can all get in on the early access or whatever it's called early as soon as it drops, right? I'm so excited to play this with a big group of people because it sounds chaotic in just the right way because it seems simple enough that you wouldn't necessarily rely on your teammates. Like if your teammates were just bad at the game, because probably they will be. 33 gamers in a room together, most of them are either going to be bad or they're going to be like me doing something stupid because it's thrilling, you know? So I can't imagine the game will be like too hard. But you'd like to get as many of your friends in there who you can rely on as possible. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Better than dealing with inflatable.
Yeah, I know a good. I know almost 10 people who I think I could get to sign up for this. If we just, I mean, imagine if we got 33 people in a voice chat together. That sounds crazy, but we maybe maybe we can do it.
Discord's gonna be like, okay, we're gonna sub to you guys.
Yep. So looking forward to that. Okay, so that's 33 Immortals. That is just one of the mini games that we've got here. Let's bounce over. Actually, you know what, Sav, I'm gonna save your two for back to back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bounce over to one that I liked, Mars First Logistics. This is a game that it's an engineering game, right? Think Kerbal Space Program
Ooh.
adjacent. It almost looks like Kerbal Space Program meets Astroneer a little bit in the way that you stitch things together to create different machines and stuff. Like Astroneer isn't quite as loosey goosey as like Tears of the Kingdom is in its building mechanics, but it has some of that vibe. So let me get that up here in a second. But Mars First Logistics is a game where you're on Mars. You've got like rovers and stuff. Importantly, this game has co-op. Let's see, where did I put this game? Here we go. This game has co-op, so you can have multiple people playing. It's got an aesthetic like Sable, a very famous Vilos game, a wonderfully beautiful game there. But you're on Mars. You've got a rover, and you've got you're tasked to just build a bunch of stuff for this company. So they say, here's your goal, and you have to figure out how you're going to do it. I don't know how much they're going to hold your hand because a lot of these games tend to have a pretty steep learning curve. So I'm most interested to see if this one will be a little more accessible than a game like Kerbal Space Program, which I've only heard about, have not played firsthand. So if it is more accessible than I think it is, please let me know. I would love that firsthand experience. But I'm interested in this. I actually should have grabbed another trailer because the silliness of the trailer that we saw during the show really makes it look goofy, where like most of the machines that you build are just gonna fail, right? You'd think they're gonna do one thing, but it's probably gonna be way off balance. Like imagine trying to build a
Yeah.
rocket, right? Except it's probably not gonna work because you're not a rocket scientist.
Yeah, this whole trailer
Oh.
or the whole idea of it was so perfectly timed with the Tears of the Kingdom love because it's the exact same feeling that everybody's just dying to have, and seeing all the contraptions that were failing was hilarious for sure because it's like you actually do need a little bit of know-how before you're going
Oh
to get
wow.
things
Early
right.
access is today.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly
did it say
today.
today?
It
Damn.
was. So, yeah, I would like to get to play this together. It seems like it would be fun on its own, but like I said, it's got that co-op. We know it at least supports two players. We did see they have what looks like Rocket League, which is named Rover League on the pad, on the tablet when you see it in the trailer. So you at least have 2 players. I hope that they have 4, but who knows? Maybe 2, depending on the game. 2 might be the sweet spot. So we'll see. But yeah, that is available. That is publicly available today. It's got a real small team. Oh wait, Outer Sloth instead of Inner Sloth. Wait, is Inner Sloth publishing now instead of just developing?
They
All the
are.
questions.
Yeah.
That's cool. I should have checked that out before the stream started. Now I got detective work to do. Okay, Mars First Logistics engineering game co-op released into the wild today, at least in its earliest form. So go play that by yourself or go play it with me. I think we lost Sav. Oh.
I don't know what happened there.
Skirt, Daphne, no, calm down.
I didn't even restart it. Just like I moved all over the place for some reason.
Well, sometimes it be like that. That's what happens
Like
when when I don't know. There's a joke to be made here about all the things that are gonna fail in Mars First Logistics. It's like as if you built your own computer and it works like 80% of the time. But yeah, excited for that one. Then Sav, now that you're back, welcome back. Can you tell us about this wonderful Nintendo Direct that just happened that I really know almost nothing about? So anything you have to say is going to be brand spanking new to me. Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Wild Deadpool is in chat. I just want to shout this out because Deadpool and Hot Rod in our community are the 2 designated engineers. And as soon as I saw this game, I was like, yes, I finally get to play one of these engineering games. I'm thrilled.
I'm actually excited because like Benson's all about like satisfactory. So I really want to see like the kind of things that he could like come up with. Cause like I've seen some of his factories and they're like kind of crazy, but like in a game like this where it's not just about like building, it's about like the actual contraptions that like do stuff around the thing.
Mhm.
Like I'm really eager to see like all the different creative like engineering minds come together and like make some kind of system that's really cool.
Same. Yeah, we got a lot of good people. Yeah, Benson,
I'm
Deadpool,
sorry, the
Hot
what?
Rod, Odysseus. What are you talking about?
Chat is violent out right now. Okay.
Oh. Hey, this After Dark. We got 18 plus in here. You gotta watch the Twitch chat to see what's going on there. But Sav, tell us about this Nintendo Direct that just happened. People, you seem Odysseus. I rang. Yes, I did. We're gonna play this game together this soon. No, this Nintendo Direct just happened. So tell us about that. People seem excited about it. You've got 2 games here. They mostly share a name. Which one first?
So it's funny that you say there's like this wonderful Nintendo Direct because one of the games that I have listed here is Super Mario RPG. So this is going to be it's going to be I will talk about Wonder, but I'm going to talk
I was
about
about to say, what,
RPG.
you're gonna make a Wonder joke and then not talk about the game with Wonder in the title?
Yeah, subverting expectations. It's like comedy 101. So I will save that for last because like it's a newer sort of thing. And I want to talk about like Super Mario RPG because people have been like anticipating something with this, like along the lines of that for like the longest time now. And I'm finally glad that they're giving it to us. Like, I'm so excited about this Nintendo Direct. I was like bursting at the seams trying to like talk with everybody about it. And you know that's true because I was actually active in our Discord. Like I came over to the Discord after like how many years of being silent, and I'm just like, please talk with me about this. And it's so good. Like, look, I'm even all decked out in my Mario shirt. I considered wearing my Waluigi cap as well, but the purple's not right to go with the shirt.
Oh my gosh, Sav, hold it together. We got a show to maintain.
I know. I'm sorry.
Feel
So
lovely.
the Mario RPG, right? So it's like going to be a remake, not a remaster. I do want to point that out. It is a remake. The difference between, and I talked about this on the show before, the difference between a remake and a remaster is that a remaster is usually just like graphic upscaling or like making it prettier without changing any of the core game experience of the original, source material. Remakes usually have some kind of major thing that's been like omitted or augmented or something from the traditional game that it's being remade from. So that said, I do wonder what will be changed. But one thing we did notice right away is that like when they introduce the game, and you'll see this in the trailer whenever it pops up on the screen.
Okay, well, you know what? Funny about that. Vilos and I heard chatting in the Google Doc here. Sav, you're like, here are the trailers for this video. It's the whole Nintendo Direct.
I copied them at the URL in time.
Oh,
So
geez. Well, that only we okay. We don't watch stuff directly on YouTube during the show. I download
right,
the
okay.
video, so
You
I
download
missed the
okay.
timestamp. But we'll do it right now. We'll hold it together. Hold up. Wait for it.
I did try to find the videos individually, but they didn't have these ones two separated out yet when I went to go get the links for those. So that's the reason why I had to do the
It's
timestamp
all good. I'm
URL.
just giving you a hard time.
Well, that's Wonder. So,
Oh my gosh. Well,
I mean, I guess I could talk about Wonder while it's on the screen. So,
no. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
here's
So let me get this up. Everybody's gonna see the behind the scenes here. Here we
behind the
go.
scenes. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, like they didn't have it all separated out. But see, we see the original opening to the Mario RPG, which is iconic, Princess Peach sitting on the island and everything. And then we get like a whole Tinkerbell situation going on and Blood Owl. All updated graphics. It's so cool. Everyone's like super duper chibified. So we still have like the same kind of isometric perspective that we came to expect from the
Whoa,
original.
Mario is squat. That dude is.
Yeah,
He's a little guy.
he's a little baby. Something it's really interesting to me, and I wonder why they did this, is that it's literally just called Super Mario RPG. They completely omitted the subtitle of Legend of the Seven Stars, and I don't know if that's just to make it like easier to parse, like when you're telling it to people, like because that is a very long title, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, LOL, BBQ, WTF. Like it's a lot. Hyper Ultra Mix Pocket Edition and Knuckles and Watch. So, like I don't know if that's one of the results of it being a remake. Are they omitting some kind of major story element? Or I don't know if even Square Enix is involved in this at all. One of
So
those rare situations where, like, Donkey Kong Country Returns, that's not a rare game, a rareware game. It's like still Nintendo. So I wonder what the deal is there?
So I don't know the answer to this, but since you're saying this, I know that recently, and this has happened a couple times before, but it came up again recently that one of the creators, maybe the creator of Final Fantasy, was talking about how it's difficult to explain to people that to play Final Fantasy 16, you don't have to play all 15 of the other games, and that it's a marketing struggle every time to teach new people who know nothing about the series that yeah, the number's really high, but it doesn't matter. Like it could say anything there. It could be a letter of the alphabet. And I would agree with that. I think that it can be confusing, especially to like non-gamers. And with Super Mario being so accessible, like one of its strengths is that anybody can play it. I bet that they would want to go in the same direction to just make it so easy to understand. Like even Legend of the Seven Stars, I think you said,
Hmm.
is a mouthful when you say that after Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. So I
Super
would kind of
Mario
hope that.
Brothers role-playing game, Legend of the Seven Stars,
Yeah.
TM,
Uh,
by Nintendo and Squaresoft.
so I mean, not that I really have a dog in the fight, but it's interesting that you would say that while that conversation came up again recently. So I wonder if they're related, you know?
I mean,
Uh,
it could be. I mean, and like I said, it could be one of the situations where Square's not even involved at all. Kind of like the Donkey Kong Country Returns situations, where, because, originally that was a Rare property, and then Rare was bought out by Microsoft, and, now they don't have any association with Nintendo anymore. So whenever a new Donkey Kong Country game comes out, it's just a Nintendo product. I don't know the extent to which Square is involved in this, but one thing I do wonder is how much of the original game we're going to get. Because one thing that is conspicuously absent from this trailer is the Axum Rangers, which were like a major component of the original Super Mario RPG game. So I mean, either that's going to be like the budget bending scene that they're trying to like save for like the ultimate reveal when people play the game, or I don't know, maybe it's been axed. It is a remake. We don't know what's going to be cut,
I
what's going to
mean,
be added. Like we may not even have like the secret bosses anymore because I remember Codex being like a thing. And I can't remember, but were we able to fight Sephiroth in the original game?
as an Easter egg?
Yeah, because like we have the secret boss of Codex, right? Like I think that's right, Codex or Corex, something like that. Um,
Koroks? Oh, the
I think
original
I
Korok.
think it's Codex. But I don't know. I feel like there was another one, and I could just be misremembering. It could be like a Mandela effect situation going on. But I
it was
feel
not
like
Sephiroth,
it
no.
wasn't Sephiroth. Okay, so then it's just Codex. Well, cool. I don't know. It's a remake. What's being remade? I just need to know what's absent or what's being
They
added
just
because it's killing
wanted
me.
everyone to flip their shit when Gino came on screen. That's all they wanted because he was literally the most wanted character in Smash.
Who?
Okay, look,
What's
That's
his name?
it. The
Gino is the
Pinocchio
toy.
wannabe. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I tell you what. Find a Google something and drop it in chat. We'll put it in the show notes. Uh,
My thing about Gino is I don't get it. I don't get the love for Gino. I mean, his story was like really impactful. Yes, like very sad, heart-wrenching, like it was great,
you
but
know,
also like
Odysseus was saying today, he's
I
like,
mean,
a lot of the internet loves Vaporeon, and that just ain't me. And I'm like, you know what, Odysseus, I'm with you, man. I just,
that's different.
oh, I know it's different, but sometimes the internet plants a flag and says this is the jam, and then it leaves some of us like, I don't know, I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
I don't know. Maybe replaying the remake here will like reignite the Gino genome in me or something. Like, because I didn't get it. I honestly I didn't even use him in my party. So
I'm interested
I
to see
thought
what
you
the answer
had to.
is.
Like that
I mean,
blows
outside
my
of
mind.
like the mandatory, inclusions. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well that's on your Super Mario RPG wish list. I will say I like the game for introducing elements would typically that typically aren't in my wheelhouse. So your more traditional turn-based squad JRPG style combat, The same way that Super Mario was like, "Hey, have you guys played that XCOM game?" No, because you're children or you only play things on your Switch. Great, we've got Super Mario Rabbids. Now you get to experience this cool turn-based combat where you're ducking behind cover and stuff, and you get to experience these cool mechanics without some of the more punishing elements that you would find in those other games. No, not that JRPGs are punishing, but since they're not in my wheelhouse, like Mario doing something like this, everything we saw in the trailer makes it look more palatable to me for a jumping in place. So, um, yeah, I mean, am I gonna play this? I don't know, but I am interested in
The answer
watching
is
this.
yes.
I watched my brother play a lot of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and it made me realize that a lot of these like modern Nintendo games, given that came out, I mean, it had to be like 10 years ago at this point. Uh, a lot of those games are so bright and shiny and fun to watch and stuff, but that's where I'm at. I'm in the watch camp. Same with Exoprimal from earlier, right? I'm happy in the watch camp. They're wonderful to experience secondhand, and that's what I look forward to doing. Um, yeah, this just is an exciting thing that doesn't feel like just another Mario game. But
And like the biggest thing about a Mario RPG is that it was like the springboard for because we didn't get anything like that again until like Paper Mario, right?
right,
Because I don't think Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga came out before Paper Mario did. But I don't think so. But either
No.
way, um, you know, the turn-based like command prompt engine is what makes those games like really shine. Where you press A at the certain time to like enhance your attacks or to like guard against enemies. Super Mario RPG introduced that to the Mario like RPG. I mean, it introduced the Mario RPG in general, but like that was the mechanic that carried through over into Mario and Luigi series and the Paper Mario series. And I'm not actually sure if it's still in the modern Paper Mario games because they kind of like after Thousand Year Door they went like pretty errant, just for the sake of like paper punnery or whatever.
what's
Um,
the word errant mean again? I'm having trouble even with context clues. No, I'm serious though. I can't remember what that word means.
like it diverged away from like the original formula.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, by which I mean to say like it's different. It went a different direction. So it's like not as like true to form as like to the RPG experience as the original Paper Mario or Thousand Year Door were because it didn't like have the same kind of stuff.
Sure. Well,
Um,
speaking of not just another Mario game, let's bounce back over to Wonder real quick because we got to give Vilos a chance to talk about his stuff too.
yeah. So it's funny that you bring up Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze because one of the big things going around, especially after this direct, was that, 2D games are, back in their heyday again. Sonic Superstars was just announced and it goes back true to form while adding like a new spin on the formula that's like really breathing life back into what made Sonic games like so memorable, classic 2D Sonic games so memorable in the first place. And it feels like Super Mario Bros. Wonder is like doing that same thing. Like we can see from this charming art direction, which reminds me a lot of like the Dream Team, Mario and Luigi Dream Team for the DS. Very whimsical, very kind of like storybook. We have these like cartoony expressions and happenstances, like this in the pipe situation here,
Mhm.
where he reaches back and grabs his hat, which is really cool. We have talking flowers. I really don't know what the deal with that is. I actually don't know what the deal with this whole game is because like it looks like a giant acid trip, honestly. Like
Yeah, I wouldn't.
people think that Mario was about like hallucination and shrooms and stuff before. Like oh, that I don't even think this scratches the surface.
Yeah, this is pretty. I don't know if I would have really thought about that quite. I don't think I would have thought about the contrast as much if you hadn't said it. But yeah, this looks pretty weird.
The art style when it was Long Mario was hilarious.
Yeah,
Like, what was that?
I love that they because like Long Mario isn't like that's not new to Mario Wonder. Like we've seen Long Mario before. I think the first time that I remember seeing him is in Super Mario Maker as like an amiibo skin, but I think he's made another appearance before. I'm not sure where, but everyone just looks so cute. We got more of that squat chibbiness. Uh, moving on from that slide. No.
Oh my god. You're so petty.
Okay, all right. I guess I'll have
Daisy.
to talk about it. So we have a new playable character, and it's Daisy. So all of the Daisy fan people who love Daisy can finally get their time in the sun. Daisy's in an actual mainline, platforming like adventure game.
I mean, so I know you are
Hurrah.
you're Peach Bay all the way. Are there Daisy people out there? I've never
There
met
are.
one.
There's
There
like
are.
30 of them, yeah.
The dozens of us. There are dozens.
There's about a handful. No, I mean there are some people that are very staunch defenders of Daisy. And like I was saying this in the Discord earlier, is that like I like that she's playable because people can play her, but like what where's her growth? She didn't do anything to like become playable. She had one Game Boy game, Super Mario Land, where she was like the princess in distress or whatever, and then she was a side character, and now she's suddenly playable. Like,
Nobody shit on like Dry Bones joining Mario Kart or like
I
Shy
mean
Guy.
that's a spin-off
Like,
game
But
though.
Sav is like,
come
this is
on,
where I
come
Those are
belong.
those are
on.
those are spin-off party games where like everyone is invited to the party and doing like random things. This is like a
This
full-on adventure
this is a
mainline
serious
platforming
game.
entry.
Are we gonna see
It's
Long Daisy? Suddenly you get Long Daisy without even working for it? I don't know.
honestly, if I get to see Elephant Daisy, it'll be worth it. Because then she'll finally take off that ugly princess outfit and be her true form.
Oh
So
my, not petty at all. Oh
So
my gosh.
hateful.
So are we
Oh
gonna
my
have
god.
like a hate stream in this game? I'm actually just kidding. I don't want to perpetuate that we genuinely do anything like that. But are we gonna have a
oh yeah,
hate
no,
stream
never.
on yes. I mean, this really is so much like Tropical Freeze. It is a trip, like you said. I mean, this is way more just weird, like weird for the sake of being weird, which I like. Like Super Mario Maker had some weird stuff because you could break the game in fun ways by mixing different mechanics. And I say that because it was a 2D side scroller as well. But
Hmm.
the weirdness of this is really interesting to me. Um, because it seems like this would just make me laugh out loud while I'm playing it, which it's always going to make me enjoy a game more. At least
What
it
I
makes
really
it in a
like
good
is
way.
that it doesn't seem to be like another like new Super Mario Bros. Game. It's like it's a new Super Mario Bros. Game, but it's not like a new, in the title, new Super Mario, like one of those. Like it looks like they're shaking up the formula a little bit, like with all the different stuff. And I think that's coming off of stuff that they learned that is possible in like Mario Maker, because a lot of the stuff that I
Sure.
see here is reminiscent of some of the stuff that people have created in Mario Maker.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Maybe this back then they were like, look, people came up with these great ideas. Now we're gonna DMCA them or whatever and make our own game. You know.
Well, we don't
Okay.
have
Well,
long to
It
wait for it,
comes
and
out
I
in October.
wonder
this comes out in
when
October.
Oh, it does. Wow,
Oh
that's
my
really
gosh.
soon.
Okay, Sav, I know you don't like playing spooky stuff, so October we'll move from our real spooky streams over here, which I definitely intend to have, and we'll get a little palate cleanser, uh, over on your stream. For anybody who doesn't know, follow Sav on twitch.tv/sovereignsid, Sovereign
Yay! I stream
SYD,
sometimes eventually.
when Daphne is cooperating. Um, yeah, so because yeah, Sav, you love Nintendo, you love Splatoon, you love your Mario, your Nintendo stan. So I look forward to going and watching that on your stream, hopefully. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
After it comes out, because yeah, it looks weird enough for me to be able to really hop on the bandwagon for. But let's give Vilos a shot at this before we jump into Starfield. Because Sav, you and I could talk literally forever about anything.
Yeah,
Anything that
that's why
we
I was like
like.
in the Discord, like, please help me talk about this so I don't spend the whole pod talking about this, please.
So Vilos, you got two on here. Let's start with the second one. You've got Jusant.
Yeah, Jusant. That one is a quick one anyway. So Jusant is an out of nowhere climbing based action puzzler.
That was a lot of. Say that
The thing
one
is
more
that
time.
it's
Can you say those one more time?
Legend of the Seven Stars.
yeah, it's a climbing based action puzzle game. But it's from Don't Nod, makers of Life is Strange. And Tell Me Why. Tell Me Why is one of my favorite games. Period.
I
Like
Can you
just
tell me why?
realized that's a palindrome.
it's yeah, it's
Wow.
Oh,
it's
I didn't know
completely
that.
out of left field for them. So it's wild to me. But it's super pretty. You're very obviously playing as a single character that is trying to get over the like potentially having a very Celeste situation. Um,
Gotta
the
climb that
art
mountain.
style, the art style is kind of. I don't want to say the Fortnite art style. It's like what is it? Rhyme, very similar to Rhyme, I believe it was another uh, platformer, but this very unique character that they've created, this protagonist, and it's a very like native tribal sort of world that they're putting you in. You have this cute little weird uh, creature that's coming alongside. Like they gave us basically no information, but the one thing that they did point out is that it's actually without spoken dialogue
Oh, the whole game, really?
for some reason. Yeah, and so it's supposed to be meditative, uh, and just one of those things that you're just enduring the hardships of climbing this giant tower, which I don't know if they're trying to say it's one tower with all these different biomes in it. If so, then that's just mind
I
blowing.
mean, a
It has to
mountain
be massive.
doesn't have like,
Yeah,
a mountain's a mountain. Um, there could be forests on it, but you're not gonna find an
yeah,
ocean on the mountain.
yeah. And so like there, even in the video, there's like caves and stuff, but it just looks so stunning. It's very beautiful, very foreign to people that play these kind of
Oh,
like
cool.
climbing
Some
games,
sort of
adventure games in general.
ability to like create mushrooms that popped out of the wall, and then you're
Yeah,
able to use them as handholds.
yeah. Like whatever it is, there's a whole lot of world building, and it's all about just being in that moment in time. So I am down for it. It looks like it's probably not going to be that long, maybe 5 or 6 hour experience. It's all about just the journey of it. So I'm excited to see more of it, and I think it's coming out this fall. I'm just super excited, and Don't Nod makes great games. Period. They don't miss really.
There's a
We
demo
have very
for
little info.
Jusant available
Oh,
right
that's
now,
clever.
actually.
Yeah, I downloaded the demo. I just haven't jumped in yet. So
They
Um,
could have easily said that this comes out autumn 2023, but they specifically chose the word fall.
yeah, they
I
did.
really like that.
petty, petty. Let's see. So that's Jusant. Yeah, I won't even get into it.
I wonder what Jusant means.
Let's see. Hey, Alexa. Let's see. Let's just type Jusant into Google. Uh, don't know. Wait, what is Jusant? Jusant is, oh dang it, it just defines the game. So the answer is TBD. We'll post that in those show notes, which we are actually gonna have because I posted that link here in chat. So we will have show notes for everybody. When we talk about this stuff, you can actually go find these links that we're talking about, even when you're listening from the future. But
It means like an ebb.
an ebb. Okay, then meditative is right on there. I saw meditative used all over Google, just in this little search of like this is uh, I mean, just like Violet said, a brand new action puzzle climbing game, and a meditative journey to the top of a tall tower. I'll just keep reading this here. Challenge yourself at your own pace, which is a great way to enjoy games like this. Explore different paths and unravel the secrets of a bygone civilization. Cool. The take it at your own pace sounds pretty great to me. and inspires me also to think that this game will probably be pretty accessible as far as gameplay mechanics and accessibility options and stuff. The fact that it doesn't have dialogue, I think, is actually something that makes games like these more accessible. Because when you keep it simple, Bleak Sword has no spoken dialogue. It has sentences that I could count on both hands that I've seen in the game so far, and stuff like that. I think is it's great when you want to play something in the family room, so to speak. You know, big fan, big fan, big fan. So that's Jusant. The other one you've got on your list, your last one here, Vilos, is Metaphor.
Yeah, ReFantazio.
Yeah, I don't know
Uh,
anything about this one.
yeah, this is from Atlas. So specifically, the Persona 5 developers are bringing us Metaphor ReFantazio. They actually had this like brief snippets of the game when it was called Project ReFantasy, like a long time ago.
Project ReFantazio.
Yeah, yeah, it
That's definitely
wasn't a
on the
great
list
name,
of great names that I've heard.
but it's the typical Atlas fantasy RPG, except for you see the art of it, and holy shit, it's like Atlas does not make current gen games. All right, like no offense to Atlas and JRPG fans,
We love you guys,
but this game looks like it deserves to be on PS5. You know, it's
wait, what does that mean? PS5 is
like
current gen. Vilos, I know you
I
just got a
know
PS5
that
this week, but PS5 is
no,
not next gen anymore.
I'm telling you though, like you see this compared to the other Atlas games though, and it's like, oh, like I can see the art influence from the previous games, but they're not loaded. You know, they don't have the cityscapes that you see here. The diversity in characters, just there's so much more here than there ever has been in the Persona series and stuff like
Sure. I
that.
mean,
So
I would even say just from what I've seen in the brief bit of this trailer, this is the very first time I've watched any of this. Um, it obviously has Persona influence, like you mentioned. It's made by the same people, Atlas. But some of the camera angles that I've seen in here remind me more of Xenoblade than they do of Persona. Um, but you've also got like the three-dimensional stuff and cutscene stuff. But then you've got this 2D animation. Wow, and this there's a
the
lot of art
UI is
styles going on in here.
insane, dude. Yeah, there's so much going on. The UI is crazy. The I'm not entirely sure if there's any sort of turn-based to it. It looks more like it's straight action.
It looks like a movie, which is I'm using
Yeah.
endearingly, not as a
Yeah.
snark.
They didn't really tell us a lot of information about this period. They just say this is completely different from Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, and it's like, yeah, I can see where it would be. So this is definitely a 2024 game. It's probably going to be mid to late 2024, maybe even later than that. It'll probably get delayed, to be honest, if they've already been working on it for like over 6 years.
Wow.
Because I think Shin Megami Tensei 5 actually took 7 or 8 years, I think, to get to where it got. So I'm excited. I have tempered expectations, but it looks like such a departure in a good way from Persona that it's just going to be one of those Game of the Year contenders. I feel like, no doubt about it.
I mean this looks incredible. I mean, it's just visually, this looks. I don't think I've seen anything like it. Not in one package, you know. Good for them.
Yeah,
It's almost like mixed media.
Yeah, exactly. Just watching the trailer just blew my mind, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm buying it first thing whenever it happens.
I
Like,
couldn't even tell
that's
you
it.
which one is like the gameplay, like the non-cinematic, but the gameplay part. Because yeah, there are parts that are obviously gameplay,
Mhm.
but it seems like a bunch of this you're playing the cutscenes essentially.
Yeah, and Odysseus, this is Metaphor ReFantazio, and I think since this one was revealed at the the Xbox showcase, I feel like it actually did have the day one Game Pass thing on it.
Do not raise my
Uh,
hopes like that. Do not do that.
but it is coming to other systems, which was confirmed after the showcase. So it's not going to be Switch, and if it's on Switch, it'll be the next Switch.
Yeah.
It will not be on the current one.
The Switch U, you know.
They cannot do that.
Yeah, I hope they don't do that. Okay, then to wrap it up, I think the last one that we've got here is Starfield, a game we are very excited for. It is, for me at least, probably my most well, it's not probably. It is my most anticipated game in about a decade. There have been plenty of games that I have been very excited for, but some of my favorite games I suddenly liked and didn't see coming. Celeste, I didn't have hype for. I mean, I saw a trailer, I thought I would like it, and I bought it and loved it. So I didn't have a lot of time to be hyped for it. Uh, the original, or the God of War in the new series, didn't really have a lot of time to be hyped for it because it just came out and I loved it. Hades, I'd say the same thing, and I could name a few more. But the last time I think I was really, really excited for a game was probably Fallout 4 and Skyrim before it. I don't play a lot of Bethesda games these days for the simple time factor of these open world games. Um, so for me to find myself so excited for another Bethesda game when I like make a point not to play Skyrim but instead to watch my partner play it, I'm just thrilled that everything that we've seen so far seems like a real step forward. It doesn't just seem like Fallout in space, which is kind of what I pessimistically thought it could turn out to be. Um, having maybe not learned the lessons of its past and just being the same system just in a different setting. So to what we saw a few weeks ago, we saw the Xbox showcase followed by about a 45-minute. I was going to say Nintendo. Starfield Direct is what it was called. If you're interested in Starfield at all, I recommend just putting that thing on while you're doing something else and just listen to it. It's long, but I think
The
it's worth it. And they're
the most
two
well
of them.
produced video I've seen in a long time.
Man, it feels so good. So I have an opinion that I don't really like leaks in games or movies or anything. Some people do, but the reason I don't like leaks is because what Starfield is doing right now is something you can only do when you're revealing this big product that so many people have put time and love and effort into, and you get to reveal it to the world, everyone all at once at the same time, right? You get to make this huge production of it and get people really thrilled about it. It's why No Man's Sky originally had so much hype because everyone all at the same time got to see this cool idea. Questionable execution on the rest of that, but uh, to see not only all of these cool gameplay mechanics revealed to us for the first time, but then to hear, because it's a direct, it's not just a trailer. Uh, it's a whole showcase that's showing you like the people who made it talking about the different um, types of ways that you can play. So as a typical Bethesda game, the world is huge. You have plenty of customization options for your character. It's not just do you want to be a good or a bad guy. Um, but you'll be given uh, a lot of decisions to make about morality, but also smaller things where you have your character's background, and depending on your background, when you run into someone, you'll have different options available to you. And so this isn't anything, I'm not telling you anything that we haven't seen in other games before, but I'm excited for the scale that we're going to see this at. So the idea is like you have a background where you were raised in this environment and you run into some bandits, some space pirates, and they may want to kill you outright or steal from you or whatever, and you would have the option to just fight them, whether or not you thought you could win or whatever. But yeah, I assume you could bribe them. But the other option is if your background is such, you could say, hey, actually, oh, you guys are into this religion. Oh, I'm into that religion too. Let's be pals. And by the end of it, they'll pat you on the back and send you on your way. Um, the the sheer options of building your character and being able to role play that in this game, that's what I'm really excited for. It's what I was most excited for in Fallout 4, where I like designed these character backgrounds and I basically rolled a die to build my character. And I did role playing stuff that the game doesn't actually. Uh, there were no mechanics set up for it. So like in Fallout, I love being like, my character is a kleptomaniac, but he specifically only gathers like silverware or something, like something weirdly specific, kind of like an OCD tick. But I was like, I'm gonna give this to my character, and I'm gonna follow it because I want to give my character that specific flair that makes this run different than any other run I would do. I made one. I was like, my character is afraid of Brahmin in Fallout, so I won't, which are the like two-headed cows. So I won't ever deal with any merchant, any traveling merchant that has Brahmin. I just won't, even though that's going to be a huge handicap for my character. So seeing all of the ways that it seems like you can build out your character and role play your space cadet, or whoever you want your character to be, that's more exciting to me, even than the exploration, even than the slick gun combat. It seems like there's a lot to enjoy in there. But the fact that this universe seems well fleshed out is the thing that makes it shine for me. Um, Vilos, let me get this pulled up here. But what are you most excited for about that? I just love watching that in chat with everybody. You know, you could feel the excitement from the people making it and everybody in chat.
I mean, I'm excited as hell for the game, period. But I mean, for me, it's definitely finding the style that I would want to play. But at the same time, just like I haven't even thought about the options yet. Going through the whole showcase was so funny, and like the diversity of the team working on it was amazing to see. Like the moment where she's like, I just like to steal sandwiches or whatever, and you see
Yeah,
the desk that's like got 60 sandwiches
so
just
many
piled on top of
sandwiches.
it. Like,
Oh my gosh.
um, just having those options is phenomenal. This like it's going to be one of those things that I'm probably unfortunately going to match Sov's customization time.
Oh,
Because
No,
there's
you
nothing
won't.
you can
unfortunate about that.
absolutely make
I'm looking
yeah
forward
you
to it.
can make your exact person. I'm quite sure. For me, I'm definitely gonna just mine for a bit. It looks like gaining resources in this game is gonna be fun.
Hmm.
I feel like that's gonna be the play because that's probably gonna be what gets you the most stuff for your ship right off the bat. So
You customize
I
your
think that's fun.
character. You can customize your ship. Let's see, where is it? You can like, I mean, look how good these ships look. Okay, let me switch over here. This is just incredible to me. Look how good this thing looks.
Yeah,
Are you
I think I'll
serious?
make I will make a monstrosity of a ship.
I hope
That's
you do.
my initial plan. I think.
Kingdom Hearts' gummy ship system walked so that this customization system could fly.
Yes. No, we will see a gummy ship day one. I bet money that we do, and it's gonna be great.
And they're like, oh, you can upgrade these ships. This one can be a fighter. This one could be a freighter. Or you could just add stuff because it looks cool. Like there's plenty of stuff you can add just for aesthetic value. Uh, but yeah, like this, just what we're seeing right here seems pretty well built. I mean, it seems pretty easy to use this system. Of course, don't have hands on yet, so I'm just speaking from a video. But this seems robust enough that we could get 10 of us in a voice chat together and all build completely different ships. None of them would look alike. Maybe they would function alike. You know, um, but what I would really like, I don't know if we're gonna see this, and I can't remember if they did mention it or if this was us just talking excitedly. But I would love if you could build your own modules on this thing and then export them, so you could be like, hey, let's all have, let's almost be like a clan. Let's all have a similar style ship. You can customize it from this template, but here's a template that you can use.
I don't think they specifically said that, but I think they said that you can save what you've done, uh, so you can still have like multiples in a hangar or whatever. So
Well,
Okay.
you said something, you said like let's be a clan or something like that. Does that mean that this game has some kind of like multiplayer thing, like functionality to it, like at all?
As
Like
far as
even if
I
it's just
know,
like invasion or something, like
no. I don't think we've heard anything about multiplayer. Uh, but it's. I mean, I don't know. There were a couple times where it seemed like you could almost do co-op, but I think that was just me misunderstanding what we were watching. I'd be surprised if this has any multiplayer, especially with how big the scope is and just knowing how these games are built. And that Todd Howard boldly said that this will be the least janky Bethesda game that's ever been made. And I say that as this person built like Optimus Prime, the ship. I love that. Yeah, Todd Howard said this would be the least janky Starfield game, which, boy, even if that's true, I don't know if I would have said it.
like
This.
I I want to see a horse in space, just cartwheel it through space, because at least then it'll make sense.
Okay, whoever, I'm gonna gift something to the first person in our community who makes a horse ship. Like we saw an Optimus Prime ship. If one of you can build a horse ship, I don't know what the prize is yet, but I'll make it worth your time if you make a horse ship. I'm saying that now. Deadpool, yeah, I see you in there. We got plenty of builders in here. Too late. What? Odysseus? Odysseus is like, I already made it. I already made a horse ship magic.
Yeah, they've already said, or Todd specifically said many times that it's going to be single player, but the fact still remains that they do have the people to at least do one of those persistent online situations where you could at least see what other people are doing in some fashion. I'm sure that is probably like a down the road situation that they might be thinking about. But yeah,
Still, there's so
we're all going to be playing it, so that's
Yeah,
the
this
key
is a day one purchase. Deadpool said he's already bought the collector's edition. I think I still need to because that everything from it looked great. The patch, the watch that actually tells time, which is funny, but I'm glad that it has a functional purpose, unlike the Pip Boy, which was a useless piece of plastic.
Oh my god, I'm so mad about that.
It
Go for it.
also like the shittiest piece of plastic too. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
watch situation is much different.
it was Bethesda plastic.
Super janky. So we could really talk about this for a long time, but let's not. We've got demos we want to get to. Starfield is very anticipated for a lot of us here. I mean, I really can't wait. I'm so excited. The same way that Tears of the Kingdom has had this wonderful buzz about it, just like Breath of the Wild did. Um, right when it came out, where everyone's discovering things and everybody wants to share everything, and um, you want to sink your teeth into it and realize like, oh, I went right. You know, I made this decision and you made that decision. I wonder how those play out. I'm just so excited to see how everyone's going to play their own different version of this world. You know, and walk away with their custom experience. Right? I'm so excited. So if you are interested in Starfield at all, Bethesda's first new IP in like 25 years. I think it's either 20 or 25 years. Go check out both of those directs. There's the Starfield Direct and an extended Starfield gameplay showcase, something. Um, but they each clock in about 45 minutes. They're totally worth it, I think. Wait, you know what? We're right here because you mentioned it, Vilos. Uh, I'll put this back on screen because she's talking about stealing sandwiches. You'll see her table full of sandwiches in a minute. Um, yeah, I mean, just like my Fallout character, she's like, my whole thing, I'm gonna collect every sandwich I find, and boy, did she. Let's see. Look at this table. There's so many. There's so many sandwiches. I love it, and I love that the people making this game
Honestly, the sandwiches look
are
really good.
approaching it this way. Yeah, they are. I don't know how those are holding together in zero G's, but you know, that's the future. That's
Space mayonnaise
Ew.
in
Oh
space.
God, let's go.
I don't
Oh,
know.
that would
I'm
be
not
the worst.
sure.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, this is a great time to move on. Well, so there's so many games, so many shows. We've talked about so much, and we could go on. We shouldn't. We can't. So if you guys are interested in all that stuff, we'd love to keep giving you recommendations. There are a couple threads that have a lot of consolidated information from those watch parties that we can point you to. But we'll continue to keep talking about the ones that we're the most excited about. But we're gonna end the show here and go. We're gonna take a quick break, but then we're gonna play a bunch of demos from Steam Next Fest. A couple of which we saw trailers for during that whole weekend and stuff, and they were like, hey. The demo is either out now, like Bleak Sword, which surprise dropped. They were just like, "Hey, by the way, it's out today." Um, and the ones that they said would be out during Steam Next Fest. So we're here. We're going to play some of these demos that are here until the 26th. That is the end of the summer Next Fest. For anybody new to the Steam Next Fests, they usually fall around the beginning of each season, so about 4 a year. I think I think 4 is the magic number. Um, but yeah, what are we going to play? We're going to play El Paso somewhere, elsewhere. I swear I didn't do that on purpose.
Elsewhere,
El
yes.
Paso,
El
elsewhere.
Paso, elsewhere.
Um, I don't know why I said like the whatever. The alliterations are funny. El Paso, elsewhere. And then we're gonna play the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. And if we have time, we'll play Wargroove 2 after that. So stick around. Thanks everybody who's watched us so far. We're going to take a quick break. I've been your host, Tegan. Over here we got Vilos.
That's me.
And over here we got Sovereign Sid.
That's me. And as a friendly reminder, for those who are still interested in the Myth Force event that we are going to be doing in the Discord, please join the Discord. We will be playing that game this Sunday if you are looking forward to that like NextFest demo. Not tonight, but on Sunday.
Heck yeah. Don't have a specific time figured out because hopefully we'll have enough people interested that we can run different groups throughout the day. So if that's you, stay tuned. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys in a few minutes. But for everyone else, we'll be back again next Thursday for the next